Good evening, everyone. Welcome to episode. I really should have checked the episode number before I started. Episode 46 of I nearly called it Laughing at the Guardian. This isn't Laughing at the Guardian, this is TOSH Talks. And considering we had a couple of complaints about fapping the Lotus Eaters again, everyone still voted for it. And this is once again the start with the most amount of viewers. So, we can't help it that this community loves its slop. And boy, are we filling the trough with our lovely, lovely, lovely slop. Obviously, we'll get into the video in a minute. In a minute. But for now, I'll say hello to the panel, or at least as it exists for now, because we're supposed to have Zenn, but he's nowhere to be found. So, we have Tharium. Hello, Tharium.
Hello there.
Are you looking forward to giving your takes on Farage dragging everyone to the left, which is definitely happening?
Yeah, you're not going to like it.
And not at all an absolutely schizo position to have.
No, you are the schizo on this.
I'm absolutely schizo on this. There's absolutely no way, especially with the news we've heard today, that it's Farage on the left.
That has nothing to do with Farage. That doesn't vindicate him in any way.
Oh yes, it does. It obviously does. We also have Cero. Hello, Cero.
Hello. When in doubt, you're all leftist to me.
Well, I'm sure. And we were supposed to have Zenn, but he's not online, and we don't know where he is. He did say he could come on yesterday, so he's got no excuse. But sometimes I have to remind him throughout the day because he's a wrong'un. Anyway, as I'm sure everyone knows, it was Ballo that suggested this particular video, and it's called Farage Dragging Everyone to the Left. I'm not expecting many positive statements from myself here, but I'm surprised that they can devil's advocate every now and then. I suppose we did actually go through a bit of a. They did a bit of a deep dive into Zia Yusuf and things said about his old business on the internet and things like that. We didn't do that live. We did it as a little community thing over on the Discord, hosted by Zenn, who is not here, as I say. And yeah, we had things to say about that. And it was effectively, as this stream is probably going to be, a lot of people getting fed up and Tharium agreeing with the Lotus Eaters, which I think is probably the fairest way I can put that. Unless the Tharium...
They were right. They were right about the Zia Yusuf stuff.
I mean, okay.
The right, as any other mixed group, is we have strange bedfellows, and sometimes we agree, and sometimes we don't. I think this stream will actually be interesting to see what we do and do not agree on.
Well, yeah,
we are a very broad church, even within our own Discord, right?
Oh, definitely.
They're just going over stuff that Nigel's actually said.
Well,
which the schizos among us interpreted in the completely opposite way.
Well,
I'm just trying to work out if am I part of these skits? I guess I'm going to find out soon. I was going to say I'm trying to work out where I sit.
Well, it's obviously me, but this is why we wanted Zenn, because Zenn's the type who's taken a step back from all this. But as I say, I can't do much because he's not online on anything. He's not even online on Steam, which is kind of unheard of at this time. Like, that's incredibly unheard of at this time. I've never seen that before.
Well, I hope he's okay.
Well, he'll be fine. He was online an hour ago. He probably napped and didn't set an alarm clock. He's done that before.
Give me a sec. I might have a group chat with one of his friends because we were playing Night Rain.
Well, there you go. Well, have a quick go there because I can only stall for so long.
Yeah, you guys crack on.
I'll crack on with what? I don't want to start until he's here. Well, actually, I suppose they do start off with an advert, and I can test if the audience can hear this because there is a bit of music. Because I'll get compliments out of the way early. This is impressive video editing. I don't know who their video editor is exactly, but that's a good advert. It doesn't really tell anyone what Islander is, but everyone kind of knows anyway within their audience. It's a magazine with a bunch of articles in, usually.
I've actually got a few of them.
There you go.
I've heard the artwork and stuff in it is quite good.
It is. I can actually fetch some. Maybe put some pictures on the Discord if you like. I think I've got 1 or 2 copies, or 1 or 2 volumes even.
I was told to turn it up. There you go. I mean, to be honest, it seems like the Islander magazine goes out, and then on all the authors' Substacks, that's where the articles end up going because of Islander's limited edition anyway. I've read a couple of them. They're fine, I suppose.
Mercian's volunteering if Zenn doesn't turn up.
Oh no, Zenn's there.
Ah.
Why are you late?
Oh, you found him. I was just about to ping. I didn't get around to pinging the group chat.
Thank God, I stalled for 5 minutes. That's good enough. We just passed the Islander introduction, advert even, which is good video editing. Are you awake, Zenn? Are you ready for this?
I am. I'm chugging my Dr. Pepper.
Excellent.
Are you moisturised?
Yeah, yes, Diddy. Don't worry.
I didn't even mean it like that.
I was watching this live stream from this guy who does fully armored plate fighting with his friends, and somebody asked him, "Do you have barrels of baby oil to keep your armor in good condition?"
Good lord. I'm just thinking, would you want to use baby oil on your armor? But maybe that's a Tosh Talks for another time.
Linseed oil is what.
Yeah, linseed. Yeah, tongue oil, linseed oil.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Damn, nice.
Yeah. Tosh Talks on armor oils next week, guaranteed. There you
go. Right. So I suppose now that we've got Zenn here, we can get into what we want to get through. It's a 20-minute video, and I promised Zenn that we'd be done in 2 hours. Probably not going to get done in 2 hours because we're going to have a lot to argue about. So let's go.
Initially, I was going to do this as Low versus Farage, the final punch-up. You know, because I just thought really interesting the way that both these politicians have gone since Low has kind of effectively left the reform team, or rather,
generous way of putting it.
Yes, no, that's
Low is.
I mean, he was kicked out.
I'm just gonna say saying that this is gonna be the final punch up is generous.
Well, I mean, I'm kind of thinking that. I think after today, it's quite obvious where Low's chips lie, and it's very firmly in the Tory camp, which is why he's been a bit paralysed on what he can say today. Because I don't know if you've seen Zenn, but the whole Afghan thing.
Really not.
Long story short, Tory government put a super injunction down so that the media couldn't talk about a colossal data fuck up from a soldier that put a load of Afghanistanis in danger. So the government felt bad, brought them all over secretly, kept an injunction in place. It just got lifted, and obviously this all happened under a Tory government. And as I've been saying today, Low's criticism is basically don't let Afghanistanis over. Whereas Reform have all been having a go at the Tories, which, in my mind, puts Tory Reform in a better position.
There's dimensions to this to be had. Yeah.
Rupert has said that about 80% of the Tories MPs need to be purged.
Yeah, and
he's not exactly
and now that's wet. It's 100% now, from what I can tell, because even our based ones are involved in this. You know, I was open about Genric, will say. I'm not now.
No, base Genric,
would know. I was going to say Kemi would know, wouldn't she?
Kemi will probably. Kemi was in the cabinet, but wasn't her area, to be fair. But this will have been mentioned in cabinet meetings. There's no way this wasn't mentioned in cabinet meetings.
Well, in fairness, though, like, would they not have been like? Is there not chances they would have been outvoted and then been essentially like held to legal requirements to not speak? Like, there's only so much individuals in the party.
So when you're part of the cabinet, that's fine. When you're part of the backbenchers, you have parliamentary privilege. And Genric obviously quit as immigration minister and went to the backbenchers and didn't say anything. And he's been remarkably quiet since this information has come out, I'll put it that way. And as I say, all Lowe's really said is no Afghanistanis, please. That's about as far as his comment on this went. Not having a go at the Tories, despite the fact this is the biggest immigration scandal probably this year. You know, this is potentially riot.
He's had plenty to say about the Tories.
It's sad that it has to be shortened down to just this year. It's not like of the decade. It's just this year, I guess.
Well, I'm not being funny, Zen, but there's been pretty big immigration scandal.
I'm not mocking it. I'm just saying it really shines light how fucked everything is.
But it's, I mean, you know, yeah. He never names names as who needs to go, who needs to stay. It's, you know, it's. How do you put it?
It's very low IQ.
It's just, I'm not necessarily low. I think it's actually quite high IQ to not be emotionally driven like that. Let's say. Well, Lowe isn't an idiot necessarily. Well, you know, he's politically his instincts are terrible, but he's not an idiot. They're not. They are. I'm sorry.
They're not.
Not having a go at the Tories at this prime red meat position is ridiculous.
He's had plenty of negative stuff to say about the Tories,
but not on the one day where everyone is pointing the fingers at them. Everyone, even the newsagents were having a go about them, which they usually do. You know, even the Telegraph had an op-ed on it. It's everyone is having a go at them, and Lowe can't. That is conspicuous. At the very
Today
least.
he did have his rape gang thing going on.
Yeah, and he posted a picture with some Tories involved in it, and then deleted that picture to replace it with one where it was just him with the survivors. I know, I saw that. He knows it's a bad move to be seen with Tories. I've been keeping an eye on it because it's been interesting.
I also just want to say before we continue, see, chat, now you can see that I do not actually sound like Sargon, and that we are actually two different people.
Sorry, when did I play the video? When did I play the video there?
We're still not in the same room.
Yeah, but...
Anyway, we're not going to get through the video at this rate.
Kicked out and kicked out, brutalised, stitched up, put to the police. But
sorry, I unironically paused there because I thought you said something, Sarah. I'm not even joking. If you're wondering why I paused, right. I'm going to have to differentiate. I'll keep an eye on the green.
Anyway, just I thought to myself, you know, how has Nigel Farage reacted to this kind of departure? And of course, the call of Lowe to many of us to join his new movement, Restore Britain, which is doing incredibly well, over 120,000, is it? Something like that?
I can't remember what it is.
Something like that.
Followers on Twitter, by the way. That's what that is.
I will say, Cero, your voice is far more similar to this guy on the left than to Sargon's, oddly enough.
I'd say Stephen again as well.
So,
I
don't.
You're a bit huskier than Sargon.
Yeah, it's almost like a hoarseness to the voice.
Yeah, I think he's a lot more clearly spoken than I am.
It might be because I'm actually from Manchester, but I can tell a big difference between Stephen and Sarah. But
me and my friend 20, so he's from Sunderland and I'm from more Newcastle. Americans and other people from far away constantly say we sound identical, and we both just look at each other like, no, we don't.
No,
I mean,
no.
Americans think we sound like Australians, which is
excuse you, Australians sound like us.
Well, anyway.
Yeah, no, that's...
Anyway, yes, Restore Britain has been very successful on Twitter. I will give them that.
On X. But I thought, why is it that people in Reform are still kind of sticking with Farage? And why are they really opposed to Lowe? And why are people like us saying, we've got to be really careful? And no, Rupert, you can't come on the show right now at all. No.
Okay.
Okay, that's a pretty good ad lib.
What was that ringtone?
I found it funny.
Yeah.
It sounded like a news like a news kind of like jingle or something.
Yeah, I couldn't.
I thought it sounded like, you know, when a YouTube video is just like starts randomly playing, or a Twitter video just starts randomly playing.
I thought it was
as
a national anthem or something. Go on.
Asmongolds Dad does this. Asmongold will be talking on something on stream, and if his dad wants to talk about it, he'll just phone him up in the middle of the stream and start talking.
Oh my god!
And then he'll just like hijack the stream. Like you are not allowed to move on until he's finished his point. It's so funny.
I don't know why it feels weird to know Asmongold has a dad, and I don't know what it is. Asmongold to me seems like the type of person who just spawned out of like, I don't know,
the primordial ooze.
Yeah, he just came out of a dirty, mossy swamp one day. Doesn't have parents.
Hang on. It's Asmongold, not the not who's the other guy?
Boogie 2988.
No, who's the one who's like notoriously got like a filthy house, like cockroaches and shit?
That is Asmongold.
Is that Asmongold?
Yeah.
I swear there's another one that's like that.
Zen, Asmongold had a dead rat in his room that he didn't clean for ages, and that he said it was like his alarm clock because the sun would go up to a certain level and heat up the rat, and then it would smell, and that's what would wake him up. Like he had that for a month.
Yeah.
Like Asmongold is disgusting.
I mean, to be
I didn't
to be
know
fair
that
to him,
one.
Yeah.
he's come a long way since then.
Yeah.
He has come a long way since then.
He cleaned
like
his
that.
room, incredible.
I like that he
Look.
gets all these thoughts who try to hook up with him and change him, but he's too much for them.
Professional
Well, they all
autism.
leave.
What about Dragon Lord? We don't talk about Dragon Lord.
Poor
We don't talk about Dragon
we'll do
Lord.
Tosh
No.
talks.
I mean, Asmongold is incredibly wealthy. Dragon Lord is not.
He's just unfortunate, yeah. Like that's just a tragedy
Dude,
at this
it's gonna
point.
come out one day that Dragon Lord is officially an enemy of the state in Germany, and like everything's
I think he is.
Didn't he get like
kind
a
He's banned from living in that house.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and he was. I think last I heard, he was wanted for some sort of paedophilia thing.
Oh, what?
come on. Why?
I know he was having.
He was
like
he was living in a car,
yeah.
and I think there was some. I think he sort of was a bit for living with like this one couple, and there's like a 14-year-old girl involved or something. I can't quite remember the case.
Chat, are you astounded at our ability to stay on topic?
I was
wasn't my fault this time.
I was about to say Lotus Eaters so sloppy we had to move on to other slop as a starter.
Yeah. that's what-
We're going for internet deep lore.
It's not my fault. Professional artist mentioned Dragon Lord. Anyway.
I'm talking about your band. So there we go. And what we have is a situation where I thought, let's just analyse the policies. Let's analyse exactly what they say and see who's left, who's right, and who should be put into the political bin for those who believe in conservative, patriotic values of this nation. So let's begin with
Can I
Rupert.
pause quickly?
Okay. Yeah.
Are they going to define what they mean by left and right?
Well,
I know that it might sound like a bit of a weird one, but
well,
like,
That's
are they
it's a
actually going to
good-
define it?
It's a good one. It's a good like thing to mention. To be fair,
well, I mean,
It's
We're
too
kind of-
small based.
I assumed that, but we are kind of moving past left-right paradigm as we speak. It doesn't really work. You know, Trump is not exactly right wing.
The lizard people
Well-
got to Trump.
Well, that's partly why I wanted to define it, because again, the terms have sort of become so scuffed that they're sort of, as you say, like barely like useful.
I mean, there's
I use them mostly
and-
just for reference at this point, but
Yeah.
yeah, sorry.
and there's like, are you talking about socially? Are you talking about economically?
Mm.
Like, there's sorts of all different levels of it. They're all mixed up now.
look, Trump's days are numbered. He's made an enemy of Elmo.
Well, to be
Yeah.
fair, Elmo is a known anti-Semite. To be fair,
So true.
let's be
so true.
let's be fair.
I
So
think
true,
it's a bit rich that Elmo's just trying to move on and act like nothing happened.
Unbelievable. I'd have him in stocks.
And we talk about illegal migrant criminals clogging up prisons. And here is Rupert talking about the migrant crisis.
God damn it, adverts.
Deportations of people who are in America illegally, who, like here, broke in across America's borders.
All voting for skipping this clip, because we basically know it says what he says in the in the video, which is he wants over 10,000 illegal migrant criminals who are clogging up our prisons to get them out. You know, that costs the taxpayer $500 million a year, $500 million, sorry, a year. Should we just, you know, do you want to listen to him or do we skip that? I'm bearing in mind Zen only has till 11.
No, that's fair. I mean,
Just play it through and don't interrupt.
Fine.
Yeah.
illegally and are living there, and he's organising mass deportations, as many as he can. You've advocated that in the past, Rupert, and a lot of people agree with you. Why is it that your former party, Reform UK, Nigel Farage in particular, why are they so against your idea of mass deportations or repatriating at least some of the people who broke into our country and reside here illegally at our expense? Why is Reform UK against that, do you think?
Well, I'm definitely pausing it there. That's misinformation.
No, just play it all.
It's also an incredibly leading question. Oh, there's this wonderful, incredible thing. Why do you think the people that you don't like aren't doing that?
It's also
Yeah,
just, it's also just not Reform's position. Concept.
So Zen, when did you stop beating your wife? Just out of when did you stop?
Exactly. Well, look, she started really shaping up and getting meals done on time. So I was really impressed by that.
Monday she was mouthy, Friday she was not. Is that what you're saying?
Incredible transformation. Many such cases.
Yeah, many such cases.
I will say as well, it's another case of magic words. But I've talked about that to death.
You'll have to ask him that question, Kevin. But you're quite right. He did try and water down several of my speeches, which talked about mass deportation. I never, as he incorrectly said, talked about repatriation. What I talked about was deporting those people who arrive here illegally, those people who are living here illegally, and those foreign criminals who are clogging up our prisons, about 10,500 of them, who have broken the law.
I think it's more than that, but either way. Again, that is just Reform policy, which they haven't reneged on. It's just they don't use the magic words, because they're the most obvious Motte and Bailey in the world. But feel free to comment.
Oh, it's just if you actually believe them or not.
Okay. That's
Like everything.
Well, that's a completely different question then, isn't it? This has got to be the whole stream, man.
Hey, look. I knew what I was getting into. I don't know about everyone else.
God damn it.
But I think that it is a valuable thing. There is a power to it. The one thing that I do sort of empathize, or at least sympathize with, is the fact that there did seem to be a bit of a switch, and I understand sort of from a political and tactical level that Nigel he's walking on eggshells since he became like an MP. But there is a certain certain catharsis in whether that's a good or a bad thing, I guess we can talk about, but there's a certain catharsis to the person that will actually say the quiet part out loud. And I realize that the Motte and Bailey is a strategy, but then there's also the fact that it's almost like it's like if you're in an argument, or you're in like a heated say for example you're in a heated confrontation, and your friend is with you and knows you're in the right but doesn't say anything and doesn't rally to your side. He doesn't need to. You're already in the right. You don't need to you don't need to escalate. But why is your friend not pulling up beside you? And I think that that's the question that I ask in this situation. Like, I understand the reasoning. I can justify it, but it's just strange that it's not happening.
Well, Nigel retreat, his Motte is just even more left wing, and that's the problem. That's what he tends to retreat to.
I don't think it's necessarily left wing, but it definitely does seem to be, for a lack of better word, it is somewhat boomer coded. I don't know if I can describe it better than that.
Well,
that's because what he is. That's what he is. He is a
housewife.
creature of the system. He wants the system
Oh,
to stay.
yawn.
He doesn't want any.
The whole
He
system
says
that's
it!
against him. Yawn,
He
yawn,
says it,
yawn,
yeah.
yawn. God's sake. I'm fed up of it.
He says it. These are his own damn words.
What's he said then? Go on.
I am the last chance to save the system.
No,
If
I'm
you
the
don't
last
vote for me,
chance
you
to
won't
save.
like-
I won't like what comes next. That doesn't
Yes.
mean he wants to keep the system. That means he wants to largely
I am the
not see
last chance
Britain
to save
in
the
civil
system.
war.
I am the last chance to save the system.
Well,
That's what it. What do you think that means?
Well, is that not
He
just
wants it-
him?
he wants it
Is
to
that
continue.
just him saying? I mean, there's many ways you could interpret that if he didn't elaborate. I mean, you could say that that's him saying, if we don't fix the country using me trying to use democracy to the right ends, the next person who rises up will just be a straight up dictator, and people won't like where that goes. That's a very open to interpretation statement because system could mean a lot of things.
I think the part of the problem is that no, that's exactly what he means, and the issue is like we have a very sizable amount of people on the right who I don't think are convinced, and like I've had mixed feelings on it. I tend to err on the side against civil war or anything like that, or even civil conflict or civil strife. I don't really want that, but I think that there are a sizable amount of people who are able to justify their position who aren't convinced that they want to save the system and that they would actually much rather see the whole thing burnt to the ground and not in a metaphorical sense.
I mean, the actual. Well, I was going to say here's the actual quote. To those who try and demonise me, it could be in for a terrible shock once I'm gone. That's why we say we believe that we are the last chance to restore confidence in the democratic system to change things. I mean, the change things is pretty clear that they don't want the same old thing, whatever that is. And, democratic system, we've pretty much had that throughout the 19th and 20th and 21st century. It's been a disaster for the past century, obviously. Thatch came in to try and change it. I was going to say, today my video was on Gawain Towler talking about, effectively, here's stuff in the system that needs to change, and Reform understands all this. It's not the case that they want to keep the Supreme Court. Everyone's main issue is that they want to reform the Lords and not in the way they want it. Like, everyone's issue on the right is the way they reform things, not that they're going to leave it as it is. So, just obviously from Farage's perspective, he's going in to make sure the system works for what people actually voted for.
I know I always hammer on the point, and I actually concede that this is not actually Farage's fault, but we have had 14 years essentially of containment, and I think that that's the thing that we're also concerned with when we start feeling the same vibe. I know it's vibe-based politics, but
it's when
we're feeling the same.
Well, if that's the case, it's either Farage or prepare for civil war. Like, that's kind of the only two choices.
That's what worries me.
Well, prepare for civil war if you don't trust the
Farage isn't going to do anything.
It's not that I don't trust Farage per se. It's just that I don't. I'm not convinced that enough people are actually thinking. Sorry, Karen.
Farage doesn't have the answers for that. Not even close.
Right. Well, prepare for war then, I guess. That's your position.
No.
Why do you think I keep?
Why do you
think I keep buying all these swords?
Oh, I've got lots of swords. Like, have you ever seen Indiana Jones? Come on.
I do. But no, this is actually like partly like completely unironically. This is actually why I say I need you to be optimistic on my behalf.
Oh, there's black pills everywhere, but it's like Roaring Nationalist put in his article today. They're just full of emotionally driven morons. Like,
I'm optimistic, but it's not going to be through.
Wait, who said that? He said that about who?
Roaring Nationalist effectively made an article today, basically about the dork right. I mean, he was having a go at AA and not so obvious Mark Houghton, the guy who runs Basket Weavers. He's just like, you give ammo to the media, you let hope not hate effectively get all this free ammo on you, and then you're surprised when they make articles on you. And he's like, just gatekeep the idiots out. That's all you have to do, which is effectively what I've been trying to do. Which I think largely we're successful with.
I was going to say, but I'm still here, chat. I'm still here.
He mischaracterized what the Basket Weavers are.
He didn't
know. Arian still keeps me around.
The Basket Weavers, like, their stuff is like, don't talk politics. That's not what the point of this is.
Yeah, and then there's a load of photos of them throwing Romans.
There's one, and apparently that was during them playing a game of Secret Hitler, which is an actual board game.
What?
Yeah,
fair enough.
I can believe that, to be fair.
The whatever excuse they have. Also, if you're allowing hope not hate infiltrators into your movements, you're not doing a very good job at vetting, because they're not exactly secret at this point.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be. What do you mean vetting? It's just a group of it's just meant to be for people who want some community.
Yeah, I was gonna say, weren't they just meant to be like local activity?
Yeah.
Like
yeah, that's all it is. Like
you're not exactly doing like extensive background checks on everyone who says, "Hey, can I come round and hang out?"
Sorry, but I'm not. Part of the reason I'm not buying that particularly is because they've done what's it called? Events with Nomos, which is explicitly political and is explicitly far right. I know that. I went to the first one. I'm never going to one again.
Yeah,
they were talking about Evler. I get what the front.
You're talking about vetting. It's not about vetting. They're not what Raw Nationalist was talking about. Some secret cabal of revolutionary elites. That's not what they are. It's just for you want to go on a
hang on. Was Raw Nationalist not just specifically talk about Not So Obvious, who is the founder of them, but wasn't talking about that group in particular?
He was talking about them in general, but he had an argument with Not So Obvious, where I'm not being funny, but it's a front. It's a front that it's just a meet up to do stuff. No, they're explicitly political. I know they are.
Except that's what they do. They do just go on hikes and stuff.
Yeah, I know, but they still talk politics. They still connect and network.
But that's not it's complicated. But that's
I know it's complicated. Ultimately, as the right is growing in power, what tends to happen is that the poppies that get too high, people start having a go at. That's exactly why we're going through this video, by the way, with the Lotus Eaters, because that's what they're doing with Farage. And
to mention the video
exactly. And the thing is, if you have these basket weavers that are explicitly set up from AA's community, which is explicitly political and is explicitly saying we're trying to make an army of 10s, which is supposed to be new elites, this is obviously part of that, and you obviously need to vet for that.
Why aren't we vetting?
We
for
are.
Anyone who joins the Discord?
We are. What do you mean?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Here's the link. Join everyone. There's no vetting involved.
Here's the link. Join. It takes a week before you can go up. We vet my Discord. If people keep abusing me, they get kicked out.
That's not vetting.
You're saying. I was going to say. Yeah.
Okay. So
no. I know what you mean.
What checks do you do?
Hang on. A, that's not very good vetting. B, your entry requirements are that they insult you. This is starting to sound like mixed messages here, Harry.
It was a very easy task for me.
I'm not particularly on the side of we're big enough to really worry about or warrant that for now. When you are as big as AA with 500,000 subscribers, whatever, I think it's less than that.
The Basket Weavers is only a couple of thousand.
It's explicitly part of the AA community. If he's involved, you're gonna have to get a bit better at vetting, I'm afraid. If you can't be bothered, fine, but then what he's saying is, if you can't be bothered vetting, don't be surprised when hope and hate in the media come after you.
Yeah, and AA also said, throwing Roman salutes is just stupid.
Yeah, but people still do it. And all right, it might be drawing secret Hitler, but as I keep saying, stop giving them free ammo, please. It's not a good idea.
Yeah, but Rorik's thing about let hope not hate infiltrate, that's just stupid. This isn't like.
What do you mean?
They're not what?
What did he say?
Oh, he was saying, how could you let hope not hate infiltrate your secret organization? That's not what it's not a secret organization.
I'm kind of with him, to be honest.
It's not a secret. Like I said again, what checks do we do to make sure there's no hope not hate infiltrators joining?
As we certainly do.
I think what Harry and the point Harrian's trying to make is less that there's no hope not hate people in our group. It's more we don't do any stupid shit that hope not hate could seize upon.
I mean that is also true.
I'm not technically agreeing with that. I'm just trying to clarify what his point is.
I mean, in his response to it, Mark did go over it's just like local events going on a hike.
I know what the front is. I know what the front is. I get that.
No, they do actually do that though.
Yeah, they do that as well. Yeah, so did Patriotic Alternative. So did Homeland. Doesn't matter. It's a front. I get it. It doesn't matter. You're still going to have infiltrators knowing that you have Nomos events where you have bloody transvestites like Duncan coming along talking about Evola and about how people need to go in boxcars. I know that happens. I was there. It's asking for trouble. And it's stupid. That's the point. Oh, honestly.
Wait, okay, Mark is clearly not what you're making him out to be.
I'm not.
Yeah, okay, Duncan and Evelyn.
I'm really
think-
lost on what this conversation is at this point. I'm struggling to
Shall
keep
I?
up.
I think I can try and summarize. Basically, we kind of went off a little bit on. Actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, I'm trying to work out how we got to secret.
Harry brought up
basketball.
the nationalist.
bro.
Oh, right, all right. It was right,
We followed that point.
Yes.
And I'm inclined
I
to
thought I-
side with Joz that he's actually a terrible human being.
Oh, he's a
I
prick.
thought I
He is a prick, but he's right. Like, I'm not being funny. If you keep saying you're an alternative to the mainstream and all you've got plans against them, like, expect the Eye of Sauron. Simple. Anyway, let's carry on.
So I think we have to start by deporting those people who are not being good citizens. And when we say
Fine.
they're illegal migrants, and I think they are.
Right.
What?
So I'm going to stop there. Deportation seems pretty reasonable at the moment.
Mm.
He's already moved off from mass deportations. Why is he just saying deportation? The issue is the magic
normal-
words.
No, this is your thing. This is your hang-up. This is something that none of
Damn right, it's my hang-up. Damn right, it's my hang-up. Like, everyone's so dishonest about this conversation. I still remember.
No.
when-
None of this lot care. Oh, you're not saying mass instead of deportation?
Yeah,
This
I
is
know.
just
That's
your
because he's
thing.
being dishonest. Like,
Oh.
this is what the conversation's about. Sorry, you can't have the presenter in that clip say mass deportation and remigration, then just say he's just talking about deportation. Though it's like, no, you've got to talk about the Motte and Bailey. That's the hang-up.
No, this is all in your head. Most normal people, like all of this, like the panel here on Lotus Eaters, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
just
we're a
the
bunch
numbers.
of.
It doesn't matter if you say mass or not.
We're a bunch of weirdos. I get it. Come on, we're trying to get normie votes. Normie votes here, mass deportation.
No, they don't. No, normie votes don't think, oh, deportations are fine. Mass deportations. Whoa, hold on. That's not what any normie thinks.
It absolutely.
I don't think any of us should speak on authority about what normies think.
My source is my mother.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. See, like...
Sorry, but everyone links it to, not everyone. A lot of normies link it to Donald Trump, and they think fine, no, then whatever. Like, it's a problem, but just ignore it; it will go away. Incredible. Like, sorry, you can't have the conversation be about mass deportation. Just say, oh, this is just about deportation. Full stop. No, it's the magic words as I keep talking about. Yeah, in your head.
It is, and it isn't. This is actually part of the problem. So, the way I would describe it is that if I was to say to my family, I often hear there are so many people that came to this country and they're benefiting, and I often, because I'm usually in a bad mood, I'll snap and say something like, well, I don't really care, like, how it's benefited them per se. That's kind of irrelevant to the conversation. And I'll say most of the people here probably shouldn't be here. Well, actually, I don't know.
Yeah.
A large amount of people here shouldn't be here. And then that will get their hackles in a raise. However, if I say it differently, unfortunately, but if I say it differently and I say the boat people should probably not be here, suddenly, okay, now I'm reasonable. Whereas beforehand, I was effectively throwing Roman salutes in their eye.
Yeah, language matters. That's like,
unfortunately, but it is true.
That's like all my point has been for months. And a lot
as an autist, this is taking me a long time to learn.
It really, really does matter, and it's why I'm being so particular on it. One thing I'm surprised at is that AA, being a professor of English or whatever, he used to do an awful lot of work on the language of the left and how they manipulate and how it all works, and then just seems to think that you can do it in reverse when you have absolutely no institutional power. I never get why he thinks that, but yeah, that's what it all comes down to. We'll carry on.
I mean, are there any?
Everyone agrees.
Everyone agrees.
Literally, even more than half of Lib Dem voters agree.
Yeah, and in the United
if he's talking about that polling, I know it by heart. That polling effectively asked, "Do you agree with reform positions?" It was, "Do you want all foreign criminals deported?" You know, like 99% of reform voters, yes. Half of Lib Dems, whatever. All illegal immigrants, should they be deported? Again, mostly yes. And again, that's been in the contract. That's still what they say to this day.
I remember at the time when we were looking over it, and you're like, "What fucking 10% of reform voters don't agree with this? What the hell?"
That's the Zai Yusuf's new contingent.
Zai Yusuf was going off on one today about the Tories. Stop it.
As far as I'm concerned, they're
very
all commies
dishonest.
that need to be purged. Obviously, not purged in a physical way. You know, just removed from the party.
But by the way, Harry, and I posted something in the TOSH chat that I think you should pull up. It's pretty good.
Fine, we'll have a break.
Just a quick chuckle, because it's really got me.
This is another reason to hate the Tories, by the way. They saved Lord Miles, and I did not want him saved.
Oh, come on!
I'm not gonna lie. Comparing Lord Miles to Charlie is so fucking accurate. The more that we watch him,
I can imagine.
Oh god!
I can imagine Charlie getting an Afghanistani to point the barrel of a rifle at his head. I suppose.
I can imagine Charlie trying to invade a country with like a bunch of random people he's found on the street.
I think another thing I find quite funny is that I've been reading a few articles about whenever deportations, and Farage is interviewed about it. The journalist will always use a euphemism for mass deportations. It's like, large scale deportation or a massive amount of deportations, and people online will still complain that like this is still too left wing.
You say
it's
people.
So funny.
You're talking about a couple of Twitter people. People don't actually care.
I'm sorry, but yeah, that's kind of my point. Like when mass deportation or a riff of it is reported as this is the reform policy, people don't care, right? On the online right, I mean, despite the fact that basically, as I say, he just does not use the magic words, and that's what people hate. To everyone else, there's basically no difference between what Rupert Lowe wants and what
so it's
Reform
weird.
wants.
It's weird that Nigel has such a weird hang-up about this.
It's not weird because language matters. It's like Gregory Johnston has said in chat. When you say mass deportation, it's not exactly clear what it means. So why not just say deport all the foreign criminals and illegals? Why not just say that? Because mass deportation, it has an implication of going beyond that.
Well, I mean, that would be nice.
No, well, there you go. That's why there's a problem with it. You've just proved my point.
But that's not how people...
Stop saying that's not how people think. That's exactly how people think. Stop it. Stop it. God's sake.
No, a wild Tash has appeared.
I'm annoying Tash now. Thanks. Look what you made me do. Sorry. Oh, God, anyway.
States? Do we see anything like that? Is the left winning in the United States? No. We see 1 billion, or is it 1 trillion? It's 1 trillion is like that kind of big, beautiful bill, but at least 1 billion of that is going towards ICE.
Or was it? No, it's 170 billion.
170
ICE and other border-related functions.
Yeah, and
cool.
That's going to go and get rid of people who are illegal, committing crimes, and are generally not in the interest of the United States. So we seem to have...
Again, the illegals and criminals. Yeah, the two very people that Reform, in their contract and since, have been saying they'll deport, yes.
A completely...
This is the weird thing, though.
Oh my God, I thought that was Carligan. Go on. Go on.
I should have substituted my wife, shouldn't I? Just for this episode.
Yeah, possibly.
But like, oh, sorry, I've almost forgotten. No, that was the thing. This is why I keep saying we are ultimately on the same side, and I'm not doing the whole, all religions are basically the same. I'm not doing that. I'm basically saying that, we actually genuinely do want if we do like the 80-20 rule, the 80% seems to be that we all agree, and this is partly what irks me so much about the fact that we disagree on so much, because when I saw the fracturing of the right, like after sort of Trump got into power, and then we essentially started spiraling. This was one of the things that sort of boggled my mind. I was more like confused than angry, because I'm thinking like, can we just start? With the.
Can we just start somewhere, please?
Can we? Yeah. Can we just like start somewhere? Can we agree that we'll get onto some of the other stuff later? But can we at least start somewhere? And I think that's one of the things that has just boggled my mind about this.
No, you're not allowed. You have to be perfect, otherwise there's absolutely no point in supporting you. You're not allowed to incrementally move right. You have to go straight to end game, even though it takes years to get there.
But the thing is, that's the thing. The left nearly won because they did the slow, long march through the institution. It was only recently when they started to hurry was when it all fell apart. When they started purity spiraling, when they started...
They made too many true believers.
No, that I think is what saved us.
Oh yeah,
in many ways.
I think with the boiling of the frog, on a societal level, I think enough people would be convinced like they are being now, would be convinced by the right wing enough to kind of be the pathogen against it. That seems to be happening. It seems to very much be happening in Britain. I mean, honestly, after today's news, I would not be shocked if Reform end up polling at like 35% in a few polls by the end of the month.
I'm still reeling.
I'm
not even joking.
I know, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
The worry I have is that we're going to have the classic two-party system moment of everyone goes, oh man, remember how awful the Tories are? Oh man, thank God Labour are in now.
Yeah, but no one's doing that. Literally no one's doing that. 12% approval for Starmer, by the way.
I'm glad for that. What has the Labour response to this been, by the way? Have they put out a response yet?
They've still
chugging?
It's like based.
It's mostly been Tories messed up. We have to clean up the mess. That's pretty much what it's been. Which was pretty much true. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean that's probably that is the best response for them to make, to be honest. But whether they'll actually do anything,
I was gonna say it's a weird place for them to be in, because it's just like we agree with them on everything, but we have to be like oppositional. So what do we do?
It's the
this was
classic
based
thing of
actually.
play politics.
Yeah, it's just like, what's the meme? It's just like my enemy said something like that I agree with. I have to pretend that I don't like it or something.
Yeah.
On deportations,
POV worst situation ever. Person that you disagree with made the exact same point you were about to.
Yep.
I will say, I will say on this point, I did oddly enough have my first wild mass deportation mention. It was specifically about illegals, and it did not go outside of that. But it was phrased, we need mass deportation of illegals. I was like,
right.
good.
Thank you.
I mean, some people do that, but again, you got to look at the macro. Again, though, if you just say mass deportations stop,
I'm right. Thank you.
Well, you're not though, because again,
BTFO.
The phrasing.
BTFO'd about Star Wars, now mass deportation.
The phrasing.
What next?
Absolutely matters there. If you do not have illegals at the end of that, it is so far open to interpretation, which is not what you want when you're insurgent. Anyway.
Ideology now that's coming around the very sensible view of deportation. I don't see anything wrong with that. So what is it that Farage is saying on this? Well, I go.
If this is Steve Edgington, I'm crashing out.
From Farage, the mass policy you promised on the April 20th.
It's a Brugaloo video. Brugaloo's another one. Brugaloo is one that has been going on about how base Genric is, and today he's been completely silent. It's crazy. Like, most obvious Tory asset I've seen in my life.
24th, where is it? Well, Farage promised it.
Go on.
The thing is, again, the 80% I agree with him with, but under his logic, why am I not getting deported?
Well,
I am a citizen.
I mean, as much as...
No, Tharium, I understand why you wouldn't deport me. I'm trying to work out with his logic why I'm not being deported, because the thing is, again, I can use his logic to get myself deported. I'm not sure because I'm a full citizen. But what I'm saying is that, if we're in a situation where, because like if we want to reverse the Boris wave, we are actually going to need to be able to revoke people's citizenships. If you're able to revoke people's citizenships, then now it's arbitrary where that limit is. So,
language is crazy important.
The other day when you asked about this, I was the only sodding one who could explain why you were different from the fucking Boris waivers. How you've got an English mother, she chose you. No one else did. And then I've got these dickheads calling me, oh, I'm just a bargain basement racist and stuff. I was the only one who could actually differentiate you. The rest of them, all, oh yeah, ethnic's bad. Just chance.
They are bad.
You should have responded. Excuse you. I am a 5-digit auction racist. Thank you very much.
I didn't think your
mother
was English.
My adopted mum.
Oh, she's English. All right.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
But
I didn't know you were adopted.
No, yeah. Okay. Well, the deep law widens. But yeah.
I mean, I will say there's still an ethnic argument there of an ethnic English person chosen.
That's my point.
I know that's your
think
point.
About it myself.
I don't even think it matters. Even if you didn't have one, you've lived here all your life. You've integrated. You don't even the adoption bit doesn't really come into it, under my understanding. Anyway,
what's he replying to? Oh.
Reforms Britannica will bring wealthy job creators back to the UK and directly benefit working people.
This is just a copy of Trump's gold card, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that bad?
Yes.
Can I buy you YouTube Premium if we're going to keep doing these EFAPs?
The really annoying part. My ad blocker. My ad blocker usually.
I unironically have it.
I know my ad blocker usually works. The worst part of this is that because I've got my ad blocker on. Oh, why is it off? Why has it done that? Right, give it a few seconds. It should be back. Why did it turn itself off?
Normally, when you normally have to refresh to activate it.
Yeah, there we go. It's back. But no, oh god, the Britannia card. All the Britannia card does is put the system for non-noms back the way it was pre-2017. There's no problem with it whatsoever. In fact, it's a good thing because they're going to ring-fence the money made from it to go straight to British workers on full-time work. Which is a great way to bribe people into wanting millionaires here. Any comments?
The point is we don't want... No, it is stupid because it's just... Again, it's just wanting to sell everything off to foreign investment.
What do you mean sell everything off? What's that got to do
with...
What
do you think this is?
Utilities? What's that got to do with selling off utilities? One that already in foreign hands.
Everything. It's all about just have foreigners buying up everything.
Are you going to ignore the part of the manifesto where they said they probably need to foreign-owned utilities probably need to come into half ownership, half nationalisation, half public ownership?
It's more than just utilities. It's everything.
Well, what else? Dyson. I mean, more than that, obviously. Rockstar, that's still Scottish owned. It's just.
I hate that my brain went the video game company or the energy drink.
The video game company.
Way into our economy.
Just like the Doge thing, just a copy of Trump. He's got no ideas of his own.
So he's got no views, no ideas, despite this kind of.
What the? Sorry.
I will actually agree with them that.
It's true.
They wanted to copy Trump.
No. I agree that it was a Trump. It was a. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that they did want to copy Trump.
Trump was also charging. Trump was charging $5 million. Trump was charging $5 million for his gold card.
I'm pretty sure
cheap out on 250,000. It's pathetic.
Isn't the Trump card like a green card in that it's actually a Visa? Yeah. Well, the Britannia card isn't a Visa, so that's fine. Well, the Britannia card's not a visa, so that's different already. And again,
But
second,
also, like, I don't see what their issue is. If it's a good idea and he's going in the right direction, surely that still gets rid of their problems with him. Though.
Well, this is what's getting me. Like ages, it's like, oh, do more things like Trump does things like Trump does. Oh, that's bad.
Yeah.
Oh, you're copying him. It's like, no, shut up.
The Trump card wasn't too popular with his base.
Oh.
Still a good idea.
Like there's points to be made when someone is clearly just having no original ideas and they're just like following trends and not understanding anything. But like, if the ideas are good, then the ideas are good.
I mean, they've just complained about cutting government spending where it's not being useful. Like they've just complained about that. Oh, because Trump did it. What? So anything Trump does first, Nigel can't do. Like,
yeah,
come on.
That's dumb.
Come on.
Like, if anything, we should be happy for him following like winning strategies.
Oh yeah,
like that. I mean, if you've watched them like in these last years, they're forever saying, like, look at what Trump's doing that's working. Look at it and learn from him. And now they're like pissed that he's doing that. It's like, shut up, fuck.
Yeah, but the Trump card isn't one of those things.
I don't know about that. That's the thing. I don't know. I've actually not heard of this Trump card before.
It's basically a. Oh, sorry. Karen.
I don't know. You explain it.
Oh, I don't know too much, but it's basically like it's essentially a green card that you can buy. That I think it's something
you pay
to do with
5
like
million.
Yeah, and I think it makes you exempt from certain taxes or something, and then
that's a bit mental.
Well, it's essentially just a really easy, in the same way that like normally politicians will buy votes. What he's doing is buying investment. So it's the same kind of scummy, but it's a different type. It's like, I guess, what would you say? It's like a more Randian type of essentially buying votes, but you're buying investment.
Yeah.
So yeah, and so that's why the Britannia card is the same general idea that.
Well, the difference there is that it's not a visa; it's a you're effectively purchasing the right not to be taxed on your foreign assets, that's basically how it works in 2017 anyway, because you paid 30 grand a year to be exempt from it, and now you're just doing.
I mean, I don't know why you're getting this. It is a visa. Like, why is someone going to just?
Because the right to come here is done by basically a different department. This will be, HMRC saying, do you want to buy the Britannia card? They've got nothing to do with immigration or your immigration status. If you're already here, then you can get it.
I think that it will be highly it's not the same thing. So Harry is right, but I think that it's also correct that they will be very tightly coupled. So chances are that the process by which you would get your Britannia card, you would also probably get your indefinitely.
No one's going to be guessing that.
They're not the same.
Coming here.
Yeah, they're not the same, but they will be tightly coupled at the very least.
If you've got $250,000 to burn, I'm not being funny, but I probably do actually want you here. Because that probably means you have a lot more money to burn here.
No.
Then 90%.
It's not about the GDP.
It kind of is, though. You've got to stop being an economics disrespecter. Obviously, having a growing economy is good. You just got to look beyond just GDP. GDP per capita matter, real wages matter, purchasing power matters, but nobody looks beyond the GDP, which is what Reform are doing, by the way. Anyway, just a ridiculous statement. Why is he copying Trump? No original ideas, whatever. You want him to copy Trump. Morons.
Allegedly.
When it comes to...
Go on.
Oh, sorry.
No, go on.
I was just going to say, when it comes to GDP, it is an important thing. And I think that it's not important, double negative, but it's not...
It's not the only thing that matters.
Yeah, blindly chasing GDP is partially why we're in the problem in the first place. The Tories,
which
essentially,
to put on top of that, because you've got to look at unemployment, you've got to look at all the other aspects of the economy. Jack's a GDP disrespecter, and that's fine. But he actually looks at relatively more useful economic indicators. I think he's wrong to completely ignore GDP and GDP per capita, but I understand why he thinks they're useless. Anyway.
GDP per capita is incredibly useful, but anyway,
I find it.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's carry on. We've only got another hour.
Created at the moment in the same offices as him. Although, just as an aside, I only found out recently that actually the Reform offices down in Westminster are actually owned by our favourite supporter of the left, and his name's just gone.
What? Who is it?
A multi-billionaire.
You about to say?
It's owned by Soros.
I was about to say Soros as a joke.
Yeah, one of Soros's entities owns the building in which Reform UK is renting for it. I don't know whether.
This is slop. This is
it's
utter
just meant
slop.
to be for a laugh. It's just meant to be for a laugh. Stop taking it so seriously.
I was taking it a bit seriously, but I understand.
Let's not take seriously the constantly trying to be serious news show where the owner desperately demands all of his employees wear suits and whines whenever the slightest swear happens.
To be fair,
not
to them,
serious at all.
I do agree with them about the suits.
No,
as saying
cringe,
as someone.
gay.
No. I actually look, my dude. I agree with you. Like on an emotional level, I'm currently in my gym jams. Okay, I completely understand. I'm normally in my trackies, but there is something. This is a conversation for another time, and I would like to have it. There is a certain prestige to looking after yourself and dressing well and acting well.
Yeah. Sargon didn't used to have this rule, but it was just comments that sort of made him shift to that.
It is something to bear in mind. Now, I do agree with you, Zen, that it shouldn't be forced, but at the same time, there is a power to looking after you. Again, I'm sorry about the tangent, but it's for example like advice when people are looking for a partner or something, and I'll often sort of say, well, start with yourself. Start by, are you looking after? If you're not able to find one, are you looking after yourself? Are you sort of dressing well? Are you eating well, sleeping well, looking after you, training yourself, having a skill, that kind of thing? And I think it's the same thing here, where by just dressing well, you will act in a different way than if you're dressed more slovenly. And I can say this for certain because I used to dress quite well, and working from home, I that slipped a lot, and I noticed that I also started letting myself go, and so there is an entire argument about that, and maybe we can have like a Tosh Talks on it at some point. But
I'll just end this by saying that like I've often found like the wearing of suits being like just a complete stripping of like your own personal identity, because like you just start blending into this grey mass.
I mean, it does.
Very cringe.
It did develop from military uniform and uniform. There you go.
Yeah.
I like him. I like Carl's tie. Harry needs a haircut. There you go.
Hey, he's
a longer haircut.
He is a fellow metalhead. He is allowed to have his long hair.
I mean, the fact that he's straightened it and is clearly getting it styled like shows he's at least putting effort in.
He looks like a girl.
Far better than me.
He looks like
I used to straighten my hair when it was long.
Harry's going to come out as a
fanboy
in a year.
Look, what evidence have you got that there are femboys on the right?
How long have you got?
Well, I think Zed's got an hour.
Yeah. Right. Let's go on.
That's a subliminal message.
Tosh Hall of Fame right there. Well done, Cero.
That he's giving out to my friend.
To be fair, it's probably inevitable.
Yeah. It's that kind of sort of thing. So Reform and Farage said, yeah, we'll bring down a policy on deportation. Nah, we're not going to do that. And then we have...
I get the... Well, we promised to say... Yeah, but it's kind of missing out on the whole point of they won 5 times the councils they thought they would. And they really need to not screw... What do you mean? That's 5 times the work already. And they really need to not screw that up. That obviously matters a hell of a lot more than some policy they can't even implement for 4 more years. Come on. What do you mean so?
You make these promises and you don't keep them.
You've never been in business and had circumstances change and projects get pushed back. Come on.
I think that was meant to be a question.
They made a promise. Where is it? It's months.
I don't know if
months.
They probably did. They probably did actually use the word promise, but still, like, I'm sorry. Being in business,
Zaya the liar.
Working in business for as long as I have, there have been promises made that constantly get pushed back. Hell, like my company was supposed to send stuff out to a client like 2 months ago. That we only just did it today. We promised 2 months ago. Like, it's so normal in business for circumstances to change.
That's what you get when you hire an Indian company.
Anyway.
Basil says deporting all illegal immigrants.
I've literally got a story about that, but I'll leave that for
everyone has a story for it. Yeah.
I don't. I've never worked in a company that's big enough to be needing to outsource to Indians. GigaChat.
It's an aspiration now, not a policy. And I think this was actually, I mean, I'm not a great fan of this particular journal.
Fraser Nelson?
No.
Yeah, no.
Now let's talk about another big plan to basically remove all...
He's bad on immigration. He's really bad on...
That's what a fan of his looks like.
He's really bad on immigration, but he's good on a lot of other things.
He is
horrendous on immigration. But I like him on his other subject. He's very good on benefits and things like that. Anyway.
Partly his voice, I'm afraid, he shouldn't really pick on people just because of the way that they look or sound.
Every single one.
Well, there's 100,000 in hotels that shouldn't be in the country at all. We have to aim high.
Are you saying you would like to, or are you saying that you will? There's a big difference.
No, we're saying that is what we aim to do.
Aim to do, not what you will do.
Even if we get a long way towards it.
Go on.
That's been so fucking pedantic. Yes, that is what we aim to do. So you're saying you're not going to do it? It's like, no, he's saying that's what their purpose will be. Like, that's such a fucking... Again, it fucking pisses me off because I am the arch fucking Farage hater.
Go off, Zen.
And these fucking morons keep making my position look stupid, and I fucking hate it.
It's really funny. People who have hated Farage for years are suddenly looking quite reasonable. Quite nuanced. I swear to God.
Why can't he just say it? Why can't he just say it? All these other
He did just say it. That is
No.
We're aiming to do it.
Hang on. I think Tharium's saying, why can't he say he's promising it?
Oh,
yeah. This is normal. We will do this.
This, by the way, is straight after you just had a go at them for making a promise that they didn't keep. By the way, I am just going to point that out.
Yeah, because the sheer amount of lawfare built into our system is fucking horrendous. That's the problem. He's acknowledging that there's going to be obstacles to it, but it is going to be his aim, and I think that's a good fucking start at least.
It's not only that, but you're only in Parliament for 5 years. If it gets to the end of 5 years and he's not managed to deport them all, it's just like, it's our aspiration. We're getting there, and like the end's in sight. We can promise it next time.
That's the thing. I even think aspiration is like unless he's about to say it like before you paused. But aim isn't aspiration. Aim means goal. That's what we're gonna do.
Which you aspire to.
I don't know. I feel like aspiration is a specific term that makes it sound more wishy-washy than it is.
Because it is.
If you can play the rest of it, so we can hear his full statement.
It will still be a massive neck.
Yeah. So it's an aspiration.
God damn it.
But that's the thing. Like, why aren't you just the normal thing? You say we will. I mean, when they say we will do other things, Harry starts seal clapping, going, "Yes, this is definitely happening." So why aren't they saying they will on this?
Well, there's a difference between saying we will charge $250,000 for people to get to the Britannia card to we will have 20,000 people come over on the Britannia card. They're two different statements and promising two different concepts. Like, one is this will be the policy that's in place. The others are
it's just
kind of predicting the future. It's
quick,
not. You're gonna make me crash out. You cannot have a go at them for promising something and not delivering, and then have a go at them when they effectively learn from that. That is ridiculous.
They can promise anything, like most political parties do, but the fact they're not is just weak.
I mean,
it's easy to promise the world when you're not in power, and they don't even want to do that.
Can I?
Mates!
Go on.
I'm having a fucking aneurysm.
Can I offer? I don't actually know the interviewer. Who is the interviewer? Because
Fraser Nelson. He used to edit the time. He's got a Swedish wife.
Would you consider him hostile or friendly towards reform?
He's gay. He's very wet, so probably friendly.
Hostile leaning.
I was gonna say right. I was gonna say gay, right wing. There we go. He's a friend. There we go.
Yeah.
But like, okay, because I was wondering if partially was there an argument that he might just be on the defensive because of the type of interview, or that he doesn't want to be?
He was probably rushed as well. I think the way this interview went down is obviously it's during the local elections, and so because it's during the local elections, they've got loads to do. And basically, the way they got this interview was they went to they basically followed him around on his trail, and they were told he'd be in one place. Then it turned out he was in a brick factory miles away. And so they basically had to chase him, and so it was very last minute, and so there's also, on top of that, a bit of exasperation. But Fraser Nelson, from what I've read of what he talks about reform, basically he's a Cameron Tory, and they're kind of Farage's arch nemesis. Because in this interview as well, he has a massive go about the Anas Sarwar thing. Oh, he wasn't being sectarian, he was just saying we need to, we need the Scottish people and the Pakistani... was it Pakistan? Yeah, it was Pakistanis in Scotland to work together. But Nigel Farage was just like, well, that's not how I saw it. So he's wet on. He's definitely wet on the immigration and integration front, but quite good in lots of other places.
Because I'll give him the benefit of the doubt that if the interviewer is basically my view was that if the interviewer. Sorry, let me try that again. If the interviewer was openly hostile, then I would assume him to be on the defensive and to basically be treading carefully around his words. But I'm willing to give the benefit of the doubt that I think Zenn is right. I think that it's
I will say, I don't know if they're necessarily going to finish off the clip, but he explains why he's saying it's an aspiration rather than a promise. And he basically says, because politicians promise stuff all the time and basically never reach it. So if we say it's an aspiration, then you know what our aim is, and you know that that's what we want to do. And if we don't quite do it, for whatever reason, then, we've not technically broken a promise. Basically, it's just we're being honest with you. This is what we want to do. We don't know how possible or impossible it is because we're not in government.
It's a long
I agree
shot,
with you,
it's a long shot from that one interview where he was like, "Oh no, we shouldn't. We should make peace with the Muslims because soon they'll be our voters." My point is this is separate from that because that is basically him admitting defeat, whereas this is him setting like reasonable understandings of how shit works.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
he's
do
still
agree with
admitting
Tharium.
defeat.
I do admit with I do admit I do agree with Tharium a little bit that at the very least it does seem weak, even if he is being genuine.
Yeah,
I do give him the benefit of the doubt that he is being genuine and does want to fix things, but it does come across as weak, and that's not necessarily intentional.
I almost guarantee if he started saying he was promising this, they'd still find fault and say, "Yeah, well, he's never going to do it, though, is he?"
I agree.
Because he keeps saying. All
yeah, you're right, Harry, and yeah,
goes against
you. I know. I know. Honestly. Right, let's move on.
I aspire to one day having a Formula One car alongside a Ferrari outside of me, but it's not practical. It's not going to happen unless I win the lottery.
So you don't think it's practical to mass deport then? Like, literally just making the point.
He's saying that Nigel doesn't think that.
Okay.
Which Nigel clearly doesn't.
What's the criticism? I'm just trying to work out what the actual criticism is. Like, if he doesn't believe,
lack of will.
A lack of will, no right? Belief. I see. Okay.
I'm going to the fucking toilet. I'll be back in a minute.
You've actually annoyed Zenn more than me. I don't know how.
He's improved since the Stephen Edgerton
sneak off as well.
Where he said,
"Oh God, the Stephen Edgerton."
Oh, there you go. That's actually what wasn't that what Zenn was mentioning?
Yeah, we said it's impossible.
No, I think that was the Winston Marshall one that Zenn was referencing.
No, you're right. Yeah. Yeah, Winston Marshall
was deportations wasn't an aspiration of his.
Well, that it was actually impossible.
Oh my God, it's like he's being specific with his words. It's like mass deportation can mean a lot of things. Come on.
Stop coping. Yeah. He said that was impossible.
Not being funny, but if you wanted to be really pedantic, isn't mass deportation basically any number more than 2?
Yeah. That's kind of the big problem. That basically means everything.
Like, isn't in America? Isn't a mass shooting? Yeah, like was it
a mass shooting's more than 2 people or 3 people or something? Yeah. But then at the same time, there's a difference between a man shooting 3 people in his family and the Las Vegas shooter.
Yeah. Well,
like,
one
that's
gets covered
why
up by the CIA and the other one doesn't.
Well, exactly.
Oh wait, sorry.
No, you're safe. USAID's lost its money.
Oh, phew.
Yeah, so this is
I've got
actually
hope,
an
not hate to
improvement.
worry about.
Yeah,
Very
well, is it because he's being pushed
Oh, yeah,
by people
100%.
like ourselves?
100%.
People like Lowe is saying, and he's falling behind. And on this particular...
Do they seriously think Oh, I can't take things like that seriously. I need Zenn back to talk about this. I want to know what his position is. Do you think that Farage is being pushed right by the Lotus Eaters?
No, he's
I don't think he's
left by
being-
the Muslims.
Okay, Cero, more serious answer, please.
Well, I think Tharium's got no. It's like he's making it, you know. I think that my statement, my position has always been that we do need anchors on the right. So I don't think that the Lotus Eaters is necessarily pushing him right, but I do think that it's a useful reference point alongside the other potential sort of right adjacent parties. I think that they do have a value where, if they're used correctly, they are an anchor or a bellwether that you can orient yourself towards.
I mean,
but if you,
I'm with you that there's obviously got to, you know, be things that push you. You know, there's got to be influences left and right that push you, and you know, I mean, if you just say I want things pushing you to the right, full stop, I'd say back. Well, it depends what they're pushing exactly.
Yeah, and that's why I say it needs to be used correctly and it needs to be selective. But I think that it's an important force. It's kind of maybe a good example. It's a much bigger example than Lotus Eaters, but I think that there was a monumental shift when Joe Rogan turned from. I mean, he never really went right wing.
Yeah.
He never went right wing, but he did shift, and I think that he didn't necessarily make other people think differently, but he was more he was a weather vane which showed you that the wind was blowing in a different direction. And I think that these various online personalities are going to be the way that you can measure the weather vane, depending on how, for example, how openly we can talk about these certain subjects. You know, how close to the mainstream are we able to talk about things that used to be considered, you know, fringe right issues?
I find GB News a much better weather vane for that than the Lotus Eaters.
True.
But I think,
but you remember that how many years ago we didn't have GB News?
Oh yeah, I know. It was horrible.
Yeah, I know. You know. We all know. We all remember.
Horrible. GB News probably unironically de-radicalised me. No, it was a lot more than that.
You were never radical.
No, but there's a whole other.
Actually, I shouldn't admit to that. Anyway,
there's another level. There's another level to this particular question that I don't think anyone's touched upon. Like, you know, Farage has been in this world for 30 years. I keep calling him a 30-year project. Actually, I think people are really, Lotus Eaters especially here, are underestimating him. I don't think he's being pushed around at all, to be honest. I keep pointing it out, but a lot of what he's saying is pretty much what he was saying, you know, over the past 20 years or so. The only thing you can really say he's gone back on is openly talking about an NHS insurance system, but that one makes a lot of sense with the electorate. When it comes to illegals and what have you, he's always wanted none.
I don't think he ever did. I don't think he wanted Brexit.
You don't think he wanted Brexit?
No. Well, look at it. Before you spurg out, shut up. Let me talk. So
I'm braced.
Obviously,
my butthole is puckered.
I've been thinking about this. Obviously, being an EU MP, really cushy job, and it was easy to get in on EU bad position. Easy getting. Then it's a very easy, well-paid job that he was able to grift off. Then we have the Brexit vote, and when that goes through, I apply the same to Boris Johnson. That happens. Then both Farage and Boris go, oh, well, crap. I'm off. I'll just leave you Remainers to deal with everything. I don't think they wanted it to win.
This is the worst fan fiction I think I've ever heard. This just isn't remotely true.
I can't square with you on this one, I'm afraid.
I'm not being funny, but I use Farage derangement syndrome quite loosely. I think this is probably the most accurate. Like, this is going to be clipped. I don't think Farage. You don't think Mr. Brexit wanted Brexit? No. The man who came back twice over it.
Because he's a coward.
He's a coward.
He didn't want it.
I can see an interpretation of Farage that is similar to like lefties that end up running like charities, where it's like, well, if I get this, then my well dries up. This is my goal is complete unless I have nothing more to like sponge off on. I can see an interpretation. I'm not saying I know if I agree with it, but I can see why some people would think of it.
Can I just point out? I know I need to point out. Farage's main income was not being a politician. He still had a load of his other jobs when he was an MEP. While he's an MP, still most of his income comes outside of Parliament. This is not a man who grifts. A man who grifts does not spend thousands of pounds on his own security. That is not a coward either, by the way. So,
he is a coward.
Absolute nonsense.
But no, why did he and Boris, after campaigning so hard for this leave thing, just go, I'll leave you Remainers to take care of it?
Because, believe it or not, it's the government's job to leave. And both of them came back when it screwed up. They both came back.
I was gonna say, with Boris, it's bullshit because he was literally like in politics at the time, whereas Farage was essentially like was just a pressure group, and the moment that his pressure group proved his point, he kind of just went, "Oh, there we go. That was my job." I actually do give Farage the benefit of the doubt on that one. I don't give Boris it. There's a difference.
Yeah, I was going to say that Boris, your description aptly matches Boris more than Farage as I saw it. But then at the same time, I do also agree that my perspective on Farage is painted by Brexit and how I felt during that time as well. The phenomenology of the situation makes me it means that I'm going to see things in a certain way, and I do, maybe what would you call it, a Farageophile? I don't like that word, but it kind of it's like rose tinted, right? I can agree that I definitely have a rose tinted view of it, but I don't think it's necessarily inaccurate. But I think that like if you say that about Boris, that makes a lot of sense to me.
There's just obviously no way it applies to Farage. The only people saying they agree with you in chat are Tory boys. Jane. Oh, God. Why did he disappear? That's what you have to ask yourself. Because he never wanted to be a politician. He never wanted it.
He was a politician, though.
I know he was a politician. Yeah, plenty of people have gone into politics not wanting to do it. Yeah, he went in to have a go at the EU, understand how it all works, and then push for a referendum. Part of the reason they managed to successfully, by the way, push for a referendum is because they kept winning the Euros. And then the party died, he stopped being an MEP, and then he only came back for the Brexit party to pressure for Brexit, to stop being a politician. Then he stepped down for Boris Johnson. Why'd he leave then? Because he thought he succeeded again. Turns out, no, Boris Johnson betrayed everyone, and now he's back with a vengeance at 34% in the latest poll, according to the chat.
And definitely won't be any more betrayals.
This happens all the time. There's such a ridiculously high bar for Farage. Like, the guy just can't politically retire when he wanted to twice. He came back out of it. He would have had a much cushier time going over to Fox News, being an anchor there while metal trading in New York or something. The man had options where he would make much more money, be out of the public light, and not have the spotlight on him, and be called Mecha Hitler. I know. He loves the spotlight. He thrives in it, I've no doubt about that, but he would still obviously rather have a peaceful life metal trading and talking nonsense on GB News. No, Honestly, never wanted Brexit is a hell of a... You don't join European politics if you want the spotlight. You don't do that. The only reason he did is because he forced his way into it and wanted out, obviously. You have to come up with all these...
force your way in. being the anti-EU was the popular position. It's the easy way.
It became the popular position because of UKIP. Because they were going through everything.
Position because
of him, by the way. They only started properly winning elections in around the 2010s. We had MEPs way before that. UKIP didn't even exist until 1993. They didn't even start doing well till the mid 2000s. It took like 10 years for them to become popular. Come on. What a ridiculous fan fiction. I actually can't get my head around that.
Well, think of it.
I've heard it all before. It doesn't make sense. It especially doesn't make sense because I know people who've been with Farage for years and listened to them. You know, people like Alex Phillips.
I'm sure he doesn't like the EU. I'm sure he doesn't like the EU, but he didn't want Brexit to happen.
Just total nonsense. I just utterly reject that. I'm flabbergasted, to be honest. But anyway, we'll carry on because we only have another half an hour with Zenn.
Policy, which is very clear. So I say round one. Who is the winner on deportation?
I need to go commit war crimes.
Got to be low. So round two, let's move into the next one. And then it is... Oh, actually, no. So I've just got to throw this. That was the mass deportation interview. But I just wanted to finish off that where Farage is, even the Conservatives, not that they like it, I've actually got a deportation bill.
14 years!
Yep, 14 years.
Deport all of them.
It's another example of copy Farage's homework and all of a sudden you're outflanking him. It happens all the time. Of course it is. For all illegals.
They're pointing out how much of a joke it is that even the Conservatives are willing to put this.
They're copying Reform's homework.
What are they
You're
copying?
absolutely right.
What are they copying? There's nothing.
The contract.
There's
What do you mean?
There's no plan. There's no plan. Deportation plan. There's nothing to copy.
What even is the bill? Oh, do something about the Human Rights Act. Oh, that's in Reform's contract. That's incredible.
The sodding contract that was all torn up.
But every time we hear more policy from it, it's just more detail of what was in the contract. Yeah, you're right. What does that say? Double the residency requirement. New powers to revoke indefinite leave to remain. I mean, these are good bits and pieces. It's good. Again, though, deport all illegals. Yep, that is indeed what Reform campaigned on.
Rupert Lowe's put a motion in about just getting rid of illegal immigrants here. Because what can you do as a backbench MP? And he said 16 people sign up. No one from Reform though. You could just say,
who cares? Honestly, who cares about daily?
Because this is what you're thinking. Because this is what you can do as a backbench MP, and they don't care. Because this isn't their goal.
I mean, I don't think it's necessarily not their goal, but it's more like you remember earlier we were talking about how words matter and optics matter. There is a certain aspect to it where it is kind of like why are you remember earlier when I mentioned how it's like you get into like a scuff or an argument or a heated confrontation and your friend is next to you, knows you're right but doesn't get involved, and I'm sort of thinking like, well, why aren't you saying anything?
Yeah.
It is that kind of, it's not that I doubted, it's not that I doubt that you're my friend. It's not that I doubt that we've got a rich history or whatever. But it's like right now where I kind of needed you to have my back, you're not saying anything and that's making me uneasy. I don't know if that makes any sense. But that's kind of
you're right.
I get, and I realize that vibes are wrong, but
you're right. It's a mystery as to why Lowe counter signals Reform so much.
I think because they don't. There is a point now.
Yeah, they don't back him up on anything. They didn't. They were against him.
Why would they? He counter signals them on the daily. He's had multiple articles saying don't vote for them. Why would they help him? Come on, it's basic politics.
This isn't about helping him.
Ridiculous. Yes, it is.
This isn't about helping him.
Come on.
No, it's not. It's about.
The thing is, again, I get. I said this at the time, Aaron. I got so exasperated with the with the sort of the infighting and the bickering. I'm sort of thinking, I know that you guys hate each other, but can you please? You both have got excellent ideas. Like Farage has got excellent ideas, as much as people might not want to say so. And I'm not saying people as a euphemism for Tharium. I'm saying people as in, like, there are people that don't like Farage. There are people that don't like Lowe, but Rupert Lowe's got some excellent ideas, and he's very outspoken, and I actually appreciate that because he's saying a lot of the quiet stuff out loud, which I appreciate. And it's like, I can understand why they were both in reform. I can sort of understand why they're both not in reform anymore. But can you please stop bickering and, find some sort of way to fix this damn country?
Again, it's this high, like, strangely high bar for a foot. Why are they expected to have anything to do with the guy that's been counter signaling them for 2 months? Like, why are they expected to have to do this? It's ridiculous.
Because the stuff he's talking about is supposed to be the things that they are also in favour of,
which they talk about in their own terms anyway. So it's like, Farage has his own show on GB News where he talks. He's talking about it today, for God's sake. Like, yeah, he's in an interview there saying it's his aspiration. Like, he wants to get rid of all the illegals, and hopefully he can do it in 1 term. If he can't, he can do it in 2. But it's like, it's this ridiculously high bar. If for some reason they've got to be like Jesus Christ forgiving him, despite the fact that he's playing dirty politics against them. It's ridiculous.
I don't actually want them to forgive them. I just want them to sort of
work together. Yeah,
wait,
whatever.
Let the bickering wait until after the next election.
Well, they're not going to do that. Well, as I say, he's there on Twitter every day, counselling them, in the Telegraph, writing against them, interviewed by everyone. So saying stuff like they brief the media that he has dementia. Literally no evidence of that whatsoever. None whatsoever. And he keeps saying it. It came from Rupert Lowe. It came from Rupert Lowe. He just said it, and everyone, like, half the internet believed him for some reason. There's never been evidence of it, and he still claims it. It's ridiculous. It probably happened. Yeah, I know. Like, I know you think that. You don't need anything other than his word, despite the fact he doesn't back half of them up and then changes his story every other day. It's crazy. Ego comes before country when it comes to Farage. So much ego that he pays thousands for his own security. He gave up his own cushy jobs. He's funding his own security. Come on.
Yeah, so?
Nothing to do with anything.
What's that got to do with country? Nothing. I mean, that is purely ego, actually. That is purely ego.
I'm so cynical at this point that I'm just like, look, ego can come before country as long as the country comes out after all. Like, I'm that cynical at this point.
Tharium.
Like,
you are ruining my chill out time by making him raise his voice louder and louder, and I'm getting really pissed off. So
this is your fault.
So
shut up.
So
yes, dear.
Yeah, Harry's getting deported.
An angry woman has been summoned.
All of you are on timeout.
We have been long housed.
1 sec. Shall I get an angry woman?
No, I'm gonna lock all the women that are entertaining away.
Oh no.
Farage's ego means he can't allow talent into the party. Well, he's let Paul Nuttall be vice chair. There's people who worked with him for decades there as well. It's another thing that goes unmentioned is Lowe made a deal with the Tories as well to step down from his seat for the
that's
Boris
a bit rich when Nigel stepped down over 300 seats.
Yeah, so keep the ones you have, obviously. You have a plan from the top saying we're stepping down these seats, you keep it, and then without telling them,
he stepped.
No. Let's get it
right.
He
steps down nearly everyone. Nigel steps down nearly everyone.
Not nearly everyone. It was 330 odd. It wasn't even half.
Wasn't it enough to get a majority?
It was enough to get a majority. Yeah. It wasn't. No, sorry, it wasn't enough to get a majority. It was in all the seats where the Tories were projected to win. That's where they stepped down. It wasn't necessarily to win a majority, but it did win a majority. But if Rupert Lowe is, we know he's in talks with the Tory. Hell, he's made, he was in with Rishi Sunak's wife getting furlough money, for God's sake. But if he steps down after the deadline for replacing him as a candidate, that is snaky. I'm fed up of hearing him. He has this perfect character. No, he does shitty things. There's no way around it. Like, he's not perfect. Nobody is. I don't think Farage is, for God's sake. But let's not pretend that Rupert Lowe is, because he's not. And he's got stupid political instincts, as he keeps proving. And I'm getting... Go on.
I was just going to say, I guess the purity spiraling is something that I think we're all susceptible to. I mean, the left was susceptible to it, as we said earlier.
Oh, yeah.
But I think that maybe part of it is just the fact that we all realize just how bleak our situation is.
Yes.
And we I think that anything less than perfection does worry us to some extent.
It's like
I'm sick to death of hearing this crap from like John saying, "Oh, why are you being such little bitches and throwing away this perfect opportunity?" That the reason we are why is because it is the perfect opportunity. I know it is, and then it's all being wasted on Farage, and then you lot gaslight yourselves into thinking like me and like all of the Lotus Eaters, we were all fully on board with Nigel, and then he keeps saying stuff that's made us realise, oh, he's not the way.
I can't believe he'd say things.
I'm not lying. You just throw this Farage derangement syndrome out. We didn't have that, right?
I was just gonna say, it is really funny from my perspective, because for so fucking long, and I can't remember if I've told you and Cero this like thing, but do you guys know about the thing with me and Sargon where he's got me blocked on Twitter?
No.
I don't know if I've told the story. So a while back, essentially, he was for quite a while. He was constantly banging the drum that like Farage was the hero that Britain needs. He's the one that's going to lead us all.
Man, he's got a great point.
I think at one point I essentially just told him on Twitter that he's. My exact phrasing was something to the effect of, he's just too desperate to please Daddy Farage, and he blocked me for that. And now watching this complete 180, I'm like, so when am I getting my unblock? When am I getting my apology from Sargon now that he is completely flipped on it?
Yeah, I was like that too. You were right all along. You were right all along, Zenn.
I've always hated Farage. There's been no change there.
Zenn was
once again, Zenn vindicated in his opinions. It always happens in many such cases.
I've still not quite got my head around why you think he betrayed UKIP. I've still not quite got my head around what the reasoning is there, Zenn.
I can't be fucked to go through it all. I've had this conversation so many fucking times.
I think we can do a Tosh Talks on it.
I feel like people have forgotten, to be honest. Anyway.
Yep. It was the Conservatives who began putting them in the hotels.
Yeah.
It was the Conservatives who, all of the things, everything bad that has happened with woke, with immigration, really that's all the Tories.
I'm sure Cameron would have preferred to
a
put
little
them in
bit
your
of
home so that you could welcoming home.
They were
he probably would have done. Yeah, he probably would.
Exactly.
Yeah, but only in the homes of the working class council estates, which is where they want to go. Wouldn't want to put them in these nice little Oxford villages, to be honest.
Cool.
So I just thought that. I mean, I did hear that apparently the Conservatives' first plan for on the deportation bill was anyone that was a member of the Labour Party, but apparently that was actually removed. Yeah. So someone said it was a joke. They said they'd have to export too many of their own members for that.
I just don't.
I mean, yeah.
What are you like?
What are they? I kind of missed the point of that.
I think he was trying to make a joke.
I know. I appreciate it. I think I just missed the joke.
It wasn't well delivered. But anyway, we all make bad jokes, you know.
Don't trust them.
Oh, I only make bad jokes.
That's true.
You don't trust them, but even they have a deportation bill. So then what about asylum itself? Do we want to scrap the asylum system?
We really have to, because it was created after World War II to deal with European asylees, as in people who are coming out of the worst war that Europe has ever had, not for a bunch of grifters from the third world who are like, oh, they're giving away money in England, I'll have to get there as quickly as possible. And didn't Macron come over yesterday and actually lecture us about being a kind of Shangri-La, an El Dorado for illegals? Yeah. He was like, look, they're coming to France because they know you...
I too hate
the
French.
Sorry, Aaron, you go.
I just hate the French. Go on.
Mm-hmm. One of my besties is French.
Hang on. Macron, the one who's just letting them make this like fucking like army base across the river from us. Yeah. Oh yeah. He's got such a moral fucking high ground.
The channel.
He's having a whale of a time.
Whatever.
I was going to say.
No, he's having a great time. It's
What's he making the military base for? I take it's to catch undesirables.
No, to retake Britain. Clearly, I mean,
No,
it's been a long time since
I'm referring
Normandy.
to Calais.
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought you were.
I was referring to the Norman conquest. But no, it is a. No, actually, I'm not going to tangent. Let's carry on because we're running out of time.
Give them free money, so stop giving them free money, and they won't come to us. And it's like, my God, everyone's berating us about this.
Well, it's obvious. We are giving them free housing, free hotels, free healthcare, and it's all based around
spending money.
Our generous system of benefits and a healthcare, which was created for our own population after the 1940s to reward ourselves for fighting.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt again, but not being funny, but like. One of the most baffling things is the amount of people that we've got coming in who aren't even from any sort of place that because when people are like, oh, they're asylum seekers, they want like a better life, they're fleeing war or whatever. Like, most of these people aren't even fleeing war. No. It's like.
Do you see Callum's video?
Has he got?
He did his Iraq trip, and he was when he was going into Iraq. He's going in, and he's seeing all these people in the airport in Iraq, and they've all got British travel papers. So they're clearly supposedly refugees in Britain, but they just go back to Iraq on holiday, as you do as a refugee.
Well, going back to the quote unquote war zone.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing that sort of just boggles my mind, because it's like if someone was fleeing here from like the Congo during the awful things that were happening there, that would be one thing. Maybe as much as I would still rather they sort things out a different way, you could at least make an argument from Syria. You could make an argument from you could make an argument from Gaza. Now, not saying that we should.
But... I mean, I don't agree with any of that because we've never fled. So,
but my sorry.
We faced plenty of wars and we've never fled to somewhere else. So no.
I understand, but what I'm saying is, you can make an argument there. Even with like the Ukrainians, the idea was they come here and then they will return once they're done. And yet there doesn't seem to be any of this.
I mean, yeah, the Dalai Lama even said that this should happen.
Well, the obvious one I would use is like it's like if Jews fled Germany to here during World War II, and then we're like, oh, I should probably go back to Germany to visit family, though. I miss the place. It's like, shut the fuck up.
Visitor day trips to Dachau.
Yeah, just. It is mental, isn't it? It's like in the US context, people like to try and use the allegory of or they try and sort of draw a comparison to Nazi Germany, and they're just like, the amount of Jews trying to break into Nazi Germany, it was definitely a thing. Just boggles the mind.
Well, it's like, to use a more personal example, it's like if I had to like bail to America and it essentially be like, look, the British government's so shit, I'm applying for asylum to move to America and did so, I'm not gonna then fucking come back.
Well,
even to see my family who still live here.
It depends if circumstances change, I imagine.
I guess that's true. You can well, I'm not going to make the joke.
I think you would. I mean, I think you would, but but like we're not a war zone like these people like claim to be. You're not an actual refugee.
Well,
which these people obviously aren't.
It depends on how bad our government gets, to be fair.
Yeah, but I mean, like the fact that these people do go back on holiday shows that they're fine and they're just taking the piss.
If Zenn was right in the sense that if poop hit the proverbial fan, and then we, it got to a point where we actually felt that we had to leave through some sort of fear.
If Labour went absolutely batshit and was just like anyone right wing, it is actually illegal.
Yeah, Gulag 2.0.
Yeah, we'd all bail, and we're not like going to return, at least not under this current government.
Yeah.
But like, you know, Afghanistan hasn't fucking changed that much.
No.
Oh, have you? Well, I don't know. Did you see the Taliban tourism advert?
I haven't.
I've only seen Callum's Taliban tourism.
The Taliban have put out a tourism advert where it starts with them.
It's
like got a bunch of them. No, but almost. It's got a bunch of them lined up, and it's like a hostage video. There's this guy on his knees in front of them with a bag over his head, and it's got these Taliban guys all in their usual Taliban clothes with the guns.
Please tell me that they take the fucking
yeah,
bag over his head.
I'll
It's
get
like
to
a
it. I'll get to
statue. Is it like a statue?
I'll get to it. Yeah. So, and they're going, "We, the Taliban, have a message for America." And then they rip the bag off the guy's head, and it's this American guy who goes, "Come visit Afghanistan." And then it's a minute long of like montage of like stuff you can do with your Taliban trip to Afghanistan.
You know
and,
what? You know what? I fucking respect that. I really respect that.
Yeah, they're like
of humor.
There's some like nice like scenery they go around. They've all got like going around with the machine guns and stuff and tanks, and you can all see all this stuff.
Check out all the shit the Americans left here. Come on,
that is actually that. There's this guy going, "Oh, this is an American rifle." Yeah.
Oh, that's actually class. Do you think Afghanistan's going to become one of them places where you go there and you pay like £100 to someone to throw a grenade at a cow or something?
Oh, they'll be doing that, yeah. And like they'll have everything.
So I remember hearing that from someone who went on holiday once. That was
in Cambodia or something, yeah.
Probably something like
that. Yeah, Afghanistan.
And he was really sad. I think you said he was really sad because he had enough money to buy a bit of ammo and fire a rifle, but he didn't quite have enough money to afford the grenade. He was really disappointed.
Mm-hmm. Do you think we've gone off topic, guys?
$100 to drive the M1 Abrams.
I'm really sick of the slop, honestly, Harry. I'm too weak. No, funny, please, don't make me watch more.
I'm not being funny, but while we were just talking about much more interesting subjects, my thought process did say to me, I probably should have downloaded this and edited out the in between. Like, they're not really making points here. They are.
Cases.
They are.
They're
just going over basic stuff that we all know.
I will say a side tangent is that I finally got a Lotus Eaters segment that I was glad I watched the other day, and it was literally just Dan showing and laughing for a bit at stupid inappropriate names that various people have had throughout history, and I'm like, you know what? I fucking needed this levity. We've not had enough of that since Callum left, and I really missed it.
It's a comedy show.
Today Dan goes over.
They need to learn that was like their old thing. Sorry, Tharium.
Today Dan goes over the Elmo having a little.
Oh, excellent! I will watch that later then. But they need to remember that, like, look, as much as they want to be, serious commentators,
they're a comedy show.
People. Well, I'm not gonna say it's a comedy show, but it's like people come to them for levity and like some degree of comfort, not just like relentless blackpilling.
It's a bit of an aside, but
because it's the main reason I burned out so bad on like their podcast in the last few months.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you, and I think that actually they might do good to sort of split some of their, in the same way that like Timcast, they sort of split out like their news and then their like IRL, and they have their sort of then they have their more sort of pop culture crisis. I think is part of their stuff as well, and to be able to have like other content that is not as serious, so then they can have their serious stuff more together. But then if they want to be jokey and have more levity, then it's not off-brand. I think that they would actually do good to have both, because you are completely right. I think that part of the reason why I've been so black-pilled to Harrion recently in the last couple of months is because I've just, for a variety of reasons, just been completely burning out. And so I've currently given I've given him he has got full responsibility for all of my optimism at the moment politically. So I'm leaving it to him, and no pressure. But I guess that's also the reason for like these kinds of streams, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're literally exist and cause problems for 30 years, and everyone's complaining. I don't get it.
Because, like I said, it's being wasted on a man who isn't going to do anything.
You're wasting it on a man who campaigned for Brexit for 20 years and thinks didn't want it. It's paranoid.
I'm paranoid about it because but here's the thing, because I'm watching what's currently happening in America with Trump and the refusal to release the files,
the Epstein
and I don't want to get into that as a whole thing right now. I'm sure that'll probably be a TOSH talk in the near future once like.
I don't think anyone cares. To be honest.
Yeah, that was disturbing. Yeah, Harrian's chat the other day.
care.
Harrian's chat the other day was saying they don't care, so I think they're in the Epstein list.
Jesus
Christ. I'm gonna be honest. I don't care that much. Like
Harrian's in the list.
I care quite a lot.
Yep.
I care quite a lot.
It might just be. It's probably just because it's an American thing, to be honest. But
maybe, but just the. Yeah, it's the precedent. There is like clearly a massive amount of very influential, very, very rich pedophiles in America that need fucking exposed, and their government. Okay, but here's the thing about one is that Trump, his whole thing was saying, I'll release it, this is gonna be my whole thing. And now he's like, I don't know what you're even worried about. Are you really still caring about that? It's like, yes. And the problem is that if he keeps pushing on this bullshit, I don't even know why anyone cares about it.
The Democrats made it up. Yeah.
No. But this could
That's what he says.
This could kill any chance of anti-establishment figures for decades now, because people will just go, well, just be like Trump. They'll claim to want to fix things, get in, and immediately flip their promises, just like the establishment. It will fucking kill any chance of breaking the two-party system, and I am genuinely worried Farage could do the same thing. I'm not saying he will. Maybe I'm just that black-pilled. I'm giving the acknowledgement that I might just be wrong, but I am fucking concerned because it really does feel like the last chance. It is the last chance before everyone gives up.
I mean,
I feel like it's a thread. It's like the final thread that will if we pull it, it will undo the entire tapestry of essentially like you say, the establishment. Because I've often wondered, like what did he see? What he looked into those files. They looked into those files. Bongino
and those files looked back into him clearly.
Yeah, honestly, and I think that like. Clearly, they saw something that was sort of so far-reaching.
And this is the thing. I don't believe the people that say Trump is in the files, because otherwise he wouldn't have pushed so hard on it.
And they would have been released. Well, at least Trump's part would have been released.
But there has got to be something horrendous in there where it's like, unironically, like I don't know, half of America's like richest taxpayers are in there, and it will like collapse the fucking country. Like that is the levels of like Jesus Christ, we are built on a foundation of breadsticks, like levels of horror. But it needs done.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, right? It's like it's kind of we're on a fulcrum, and it's like, which way are we tipping? Are we going to tip back into what we used to be in, or are we going to tip into this sort of? Yeah,
we're either gonna. This is the moment where you pull on a string, and it's either going to tighten the knot so solid you need to cut it open with scissors, or the entire thing's gonna just come apart.
Just gonna fall apart.
It's one or the other, and you don't know what it is until it happens, and it's genuinely terrifying.
And that's the same thing, like you mentioned with Farage and the situation we have over here. So we are at a boiling point. Things are getting very scary. People. I hold my point, which is that I do not want to see civil unrest because I don't want to be fighting. I don't want to.
I couldn't care less. I just don't think the bloody British public would do it.
Oh yeah, civil war's only going one way, and it's not ours.
Yeah. It's not going.
What do you mean?
The fact is that it's not going to be pretty.
What's
England doesn't have the swell of like based like.
What are you talking about?
We've had a lot of civil wars in the past.
Civil wars. Yeah.
No, I'm saying
the thing
now,
is, we're also a
modern
very
day,
different stock.
modern day England doesn't
Yeah.
have the sheer swell of America has like the entire like prepper community and like such a strength of their like right wing in their country
We have a little bit of prepper here.
to basically if things kick off, it's gonna be like the Civil War movie. I should probably watch that at some point, to be honest.
Nah.
Should we have like a night of watching that? Because I am actually curious about what it's like.
I think I'd rather stick acid in my eye.
Come
I've
on,
not
that'd be
heard
funny.
it's very good.
Okay.
I'm sure it's not good. I'm sure it's not good, but I want to like get drunk and laugh.
I think you're wrong on this. Like the Americans make a lot of noise. Then they don't actually do anything. Whereas the English, it's more like the line, their voices were even and low, their eyes were level and straight. You know, like when we begin to hate.
Your average. Sorry. Your average fighting age white Brit is joining the Muslims, by the way, because your average fighting age white Brit votes Labour or Greens. Like it's not even close. It's not even funny how backward they are.
I do say though that the it's why I say that the English spirit is strong, but like what's the expression? Was it the spirit is ready, but the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak? I feel like
I disagree. I don't think the spirit is willing. I don't even think the spirit is willing. I think it's
I was saying that
it's subdued and lazy. Oh no!
I don't want to start making Dark Souls references, but I was going to say like it's like the flickering flame. I'm not going to do it, but there is a lot of lot of symbology there.
It's the Battle of Malden. Resolution should be the tougher, keener the heart, the mind the greater when our power diminishes.
Oh, hey man!
Like this Saxon is not one who's just going to disappear.
No,
I wish I had the confidence. I genuinely do.
We're gonna win.
I don't like being black-pilled, but it is. I am.
I know that.
I see too much of our people just being like, I literally picture it as just like, oh, it's all kicking off now. The people are fighting in the streets. They're trying to, beat these fuckers that have like wrecked this country for decades. Yeah, but footy's on,
Well, but
maybe it's from living my whole life in Newcastle, where I'm just surrounded by lefties, and I'm blind to how the rest of the country is. It's possible, but I just can't imagine. And obviously, I'm not advocating for any of these things to happen.
Well, I mean, you had them
to protect Harrian's channel.
Yeah,
some of your neighbours were kicking off in Southport. Remember?
True. No, but that's the thing. The moment that anything started happening, people just started fucking stealing sausage rolls from Greg's.
Yeah, I did hear about the Greg's.
Ugh.
But the thing is, again, it's that yeah, we should probably move on. I think that I haven't collected my thoughts well on this, but I think it is.
Never stop dooming.
I was going to say, look at what
dooming!
Look at what the sleepy Spanish are doing at the moment.
I've heard. I need to look into that a bit more. That's interesting.
They're hunting down.
I had some American friends messaging me and just been like, "Hey mate, this is your future soon." I'm like,
Yes, it is. It's all of Europe. It's
I just find it funny that
who's gone out to hunt geezers down for that elderly guy who got his house burned because they threw firecrackers through a window.
They're all hunting down the Muslims.
Where?
In this town, they're all hunting down the Muslims. Thousands of them.
In
Spanish
Spain?
people.
Yeah, but
did you see the link I put in?
Have you not seen this,
Spanish?
It's really kicking off.
I have no doubt Spain always kicks off. Talking about Britain, it does.
Oh yeah, no.
Spain.
No,
So,
Harry was talking about an incident in Britain where an elderly man was abused by Muslims. Not that the recent occasion where it happened in Spain.
They weren't.
Again, this isn't the first time that like the Muslims have caused problems in Spain, but it's going to be just something.
Oh, the Moors,
It just ticks. No, there's always going to be like one event, like in all throughout history, it's like one event, and that just kicks things off, and you never know what that event is going to be when it is. And like you're Harrian's constant cucking about needing to be moderate. The Vox Party in Spain.
Well, no. Hey.
The left
trying to keep himself out of No, I'm
like,
saying Harry and trying to stay moderate is him trying to keep himself out of jail. I'm not going to actually begrudge him for it.
The Vox Party in Spain are saying, yeah, we're going to get rid of about 8 million people. Anyone who doesn't conform to speak Spanish, any Muslims, they're all Muslims gone. And guess what? They're the ones who are growing in popularity.
And it'll fizzle out at 15% like it always does. And then they'll moderate.
They're on to 19. They've gone up to 19 now. They've gone on to 19 now.
Well,
just before we get back onto the video,
in the words of Palpatine, I will be watching their career with great interest. But we are 10 seconds off of 11 o'clock.
Yeah,
I need to go commit war crimes in RimWorld.
You do that.
If people want to break from the doomerisms, come join me at twitch.com/Denziel_Jones. I'll slap it in the chat.
Drop a link.
I despite the stress and doomerisms, I have had a good time here tonight. Thank you very much for having me.
We're going to win, Zen. We're going to win, Zen.
I hope so. I can believe it. But I need to go hunt buffalo and do some raids. Later, chaps.
Have fun.
Absolutely.
And just to say also, do definitely check out his Twitch. It is really fun. And one last thing, just to put a cap on that last part, and then we'll continue, I promise. Sorry, Harren. But the earlier point, and the annoying thing that this was also partially for Zen, but the whole thing about sort of readying yourself and carrying yourself better, where I say that the spirit is willing but the flesh is weak, using that idea, we do ourselves a lot of value by carrying ourselves a little bit better. Not necessarily that I'm saying boogaloo, I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is that that looking after yourself, being I used to sort of make a joke in the Discord that it's like I don't expect a civil war, but I have noticed that I am very physically unfit. And it's kind of the joke is effectively we do ourselves a great service to look after ourselves, to carry ourselves better.
There's a classic old meme where it's like a really nerdy guy in a school and he's like, oh, Dale forgot he was on the internet, and it's basically this like scrawny kid calling a big muscly guy like 3 years his age and twice his height an F-slur. And it's like, that's all I can think of when I think of people talking about civil war online. Like, the only person who's fit online effectively is raw egg nationalist. Maybe a few of the bodybuilders, whatever. But I don't know many English ones.
I was going to say a few years.
Harry here is. Sargon's in good shape.
I have doubts of their abilities to.
So Harry does boxing.
Oh, great! Like
Sargon does a lot of rock climbing.
I used to be able to pull 200 kilos.
I think you're underestimating how much more prepared the enemies will be. Personally, it's a little more than martial arts.
I think that
rock climbing.
you do yourself a value to be someone who would be prepared to protect your family and your loved ones if necessary.
Mm-hmm.
But we shouldn't push for that eventuality, in my opinion. Because it's going to be bloody, it's going to be unnecessary. It's going to be you don't want civil war. Civil war should be a last resort, not a first resort. And that's something that I hear a lot online, and I don't like the way that people talk about it so flagrantly. But that's just me. Yeah, we should probably carry on because this is going to take a while. So we're not through this video.
I mean, we're not going to finish this.
I will interrupt less.
I probably should have thought about this.
In a war to defend liberty across Europe. And one of the ways that the Europeans, in particular the French, are supporting us is by allowing these people to come over. It's not within their wit to stop it. And if you listen to Marie Le Pen's party, although she's not in charge, the recent mayor of the region for her party, has turned around and said France can do this.
Yeah. But
we can do this within the current law. You don't need to change
it. The point Macron was making is that we act as a lodestone for migrants to France. Yep. And so if we would just stop giving migrants money, they would also stop going to France. So like we're an albatross around everyone's bloody neck at this point. But anyway, yeah.
We're too lazy.
No more
thinking. So Rupert Lowe comes out and says, okay, the asylum backlog, we don't need migrant hotels, we don't need endless appeal. What we do is actually very simple. So he's moving from the deport. We need to detain and deport, of course, United States. Very clear language, and Stephen Miller in there. But that's the line. He says, scrap the entire asylum system. No more asylum seekers. Now, I like the sentiment. I do agree that we need to have to get to that stage at the moment because it's being abused. I said a long, long time ago that there are genuine asylum seekers, as we saw coming out of Ukraine, for example.
So do you want to get rid of the asylum system or not? I mean, as it exists, it needs to change, yeah. But if you think Ukrainians should be accepted, then you still want an asylum system. I suppose if I guess he's saying he wants it to change.
Oh, sorry.
No, you go.
Sorry. I would say that it would need reform, but no, it's. I think that the asylum system is perfectly fine. Like joking aside, it doesn't just need reforming, because I think that asylum should be something that is to the discretion of the country, right? It shouldn't be something that's expected, but something that could be. It's like going back to the British spirit, right? It's something that you can assume because we are gentlemanly. We will help somebody in need because that is who we are as a nation. But don't you dare take advantage of that. And I think that when that's something that you can't just take for granted, which is what's happening at the moment, then it's perfectly fine to have an asylum system. But it's the point where you're sort of expected to, and you're sort of held at gunpoint effectively by the left-wing media, then the asylum system is essentially just a noose around our neck.
Oh yeah, I mean, you do need to change the law though. I know France, they've probably made claims that you don't need to change the law, but we do here, at least if what's it called, Dominic Cummings is to be believed, which I'm willing to believe him on that. He certainly seems passionate about it anyway.
That are now being caught up with all those who are grifting because they're coming as economics.
But the thing is, when it comes to things like that, where it's like, oh, there's an actual invasion of a country, well, we can just decide and take an executive action. We don't need like a universal eternal rule about, oh, if you land on our shores and claim asylum, then we have to take you. No, we can just say, oh, look, the Ukrainians are being invaded by the Russians. We'll take 200,000 Ukrainian women and children. We can just say
it. I agree with all this on the asylum system. Like, move on.
But here we have the first person saying scrap the entire asylum system, and that's that. So what do we get from Nigel?
Sex with refugees, as Jasmine sent it. Did you not see that?
No.
Are you not familiar with that?
No.
There was a billboard. It was
just going to be some feminist group who are now wondering why. It was just going to be some.
Got that serious. So all we get with Nigel Farage.
Very telling, either way.
That's going to stick.
It was just going to be some feminist group who are now wondering.
Okay. God damn it, they go on tangents as much as us.
Based. I should go on tangents on their tangents.
Oh, good God. I'm trying to skip all that.
Whether we should, but let's just
crack on. We'll power through now because I know it's 19. So Farage has criticised the asylum system.
We need to do like a members only a tangent. Oh
my God! Well, I mean, you're one of the members along with like two other people, so I don't know how popular that would be.
Look, don't make me buy half of the memberships. I'll
you'll
do it if I have to.
Do it.
And when I get a job, man, you'll see it.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But he hasn't made any suggestions to how to amend it, review it, or do anything about it. So round 2, again, we go to low. Then I go, let's have a look at defending against Islam. Now,
oh, right, I must have missed where they did it. Criticised Britain's asylum system, claiming that something's very wrong. 1/3 of applications are approved under exceptional circumstances. Speaking on a show, he expressed concern about the high proportion of cases being granted through the route. The one thing the newspapers keep reporting on that makes people jolly angry is that about 1 in 3 of those who claim asylum are granted asylum on what are called exceptional circumstances. And he wants to get rid of them, I guess. Okay. Okay. I don't. Okay, we'll move on, I guess, unless. Okay.
Okay, look, let's just go to round 3 or 4, whatever. We know where
democracies possess the necessary to contend, just as Muslims country. Oh, do we shape our country? Yeah, that's pretty strong from Rupert Lowe. Yeah, let's defend it. Knights Templar. If you think this man will save Britain even with Trump on behind, he's a fraud.
He's literally like, we can't alienate Islam. Oh, they've grown too strong to ban halal. Basically, we're just going to capitulate and see if they'll convert to British values. Thanks, Nige. Thanks.
So,
that is how the system works at the moment.
There is an argument here between practicality and ideals.
No.
And I think that this is going to be the eternal I don't even know what
It's very practical and easy and popular to ban halal.
To be fair, I agree with you, but it's kind of it's like Harrion says, right? If there's a difference between saying I want to get rid of the boat people and I want to deport your nice Pakistani neighbor, there's a very different, like the normie will hear those two things very differently, and like the problem is that if you want to ban halal on religious grounds, this is probably like a semantics thing, right? But if you want to ban it on religious grounds, that's going to be a very hard sell for people. If you want to sell it on a animal cruelty level, then you're going to have Peter saying, "Oh, well, we need to also execute your pets along the same time because that's what Peter does." I only wish I was joking.
Banning halal is a very popular position among the public, the non-Muslim public. The people that Nigel doesn't care about, though.
But what I don't necessarily agree with you there, but I understand what you're saying.
And it's the fact, like, this is just such pathetic weakness from him. Like, you expect him to be able to, like, do actual forced deportations when he's too cowardly to even ban halal because it might upset the Muslims.
I think that it's that kind of problem with the purity spiral, right? Like, because I agree with you. Like, kosher and halal don't really make a lot of sense within the Anglosphere.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we have it, and
we shouldn't.
Well, we shouldn't have a lot of things.
Yeah.
But again, it's kind of almost how Harrion says we have 5 years. Where do we start? We could try a Trump, and we could try.
If
we have a majority,
nowhere. The start is to work these people in, apparently, according to Nigel.
Well,
the start is appeasing them, making sure they feel at home, making sure we give in to whatever they want. That's Nigel's position.
I mean, I don't think that's even in my very sort of skeptical take, and sorry, I'm just trying to gather my thoughts. My medication's worn off, so this is always a laugh. The problem is we don't have the problem is that we don't have options, and that we need to start somewhere, and we need to the easy sells, like Harrion says, is the Moss and Baileys.
Right,
the easy sell is can we at least get rid of the people that came in off the boats? Can we start there? If we can start there, then we can get momentum. That's kind of like the best take. That's kind of like the positive, the white pill take.
Well, that's the thing. The easiest point to start off with is banning halal, because that will cause some people at least to go, and that's the easy position. That's a lot easier than forced deportations, and the fact Nigel isn't even willing to go there is pathetic.
The issue with that is that it will seem to be targeting the people who are integrated more than the people who refuse to integrate at all.
They're not integrated.
If that makes any sense. Sorry?
They're not integrated, though.
Well, no, but they are. So I know what you mean. I know what you mean. But what I'm saying is, let's say that you kind of you've got like an office job. Let's say that like 5 out of your employees are sort of international. Let's say that there are like, say you've got like a company of 20 and 2 of them are Muslim, and they come in, they do their work, they go home, they're friendly at work, they don't do anything wrong. They're the ones who are going to be seen as being targeted if you take halal away. And then so the normie will say, oh, let's say Mohammed in my office, he is angry because we're getting rid of halal. And so that's going to come across as...
So he's gone and blown himself up. Oh dear.
But even on top of that, like, they'll ask for details of halal, and then you quite quickly find out that most of it's stunned anyway. Okay,
that's lies. No, that's lies.
It's not lies at all.
No, it is. Groups have looked into it. They're just lying about that.
Well, what I'm saying,
the RSPCA and stuff, I think is one group who've looked into it. It's just they're just lying because the animals need to be conscious to hear the Muslim prayers, so they're just lying.
They need to be conscious.
That's how it works.
That's definitely not true. That is not true. No, they need to be alive.
Well, I'm telling you, like groups have actually looked into that claim, and it's just they're just lying.
Well, I am shocked that you have not posted that in the Discord before then.
I think the point is that like we should have it so that if we are going to have halal in any way, shape, or form, it shouldn't be something that is sort of mainstream and expected. Mm-hmm. And I think that at the very least is a middle ground that we can come to.
I mean, a lot of supermarkets sell meats without advertising that it's halal because it's just pathetic. They're cowards. So they're like, unfortunately, a lot of people might eat it without knowing because we are just constant surrender to Islam all the time from every level.
It's like I've said before. You just want shutting out. This
isn't shutting out.
It is. It is.
Banning halal isn't shutting out. It's so basic and easy and simple.
It's so basic, easy, and simple. Where has any country actually banned halal? I mean that's kind of so 3 countries including Denmark, Sweden, Norway, Iceland. Oh, these countries. Thank God, I've not read it. Several European countries have banned or restricted halal and kosher slaughter due to animal welfare concerns to non-stun slaughter. They include Denmark, Sweden, Norway, Iceland, Slovenia, Switzerland, and Greece. Additionally, some regions within countries like Belgium have implemented their own bans. Yeah, but is it like the burqa ban where they've banned it, where they've technically banned it, but it still happens because they don't enforce it? That would be my next question. Because I think
banned and restricted is the key there. Yeah. Banned or restricted.
But as I said,
and the thing is, I just want to say to chat, like I'm not adverse to. I don't think that it I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's required. But I think that there is a level of practicality to
I'm not being
which
funny.
Which hill are we going to die on?
I'm not being. I'm not being funny as well. But these aren't exactly countries that are well known for sorting the Muslim problem.
Yeah, they're not exactly tyrannical either. You just want to chud out. This isn't chuding out.
You do want to chud out. You do want to chud out.
Soft little Norway does this, and then we're too pathetic. We're too pathetic to even do that.
All they've done is ban the non-stun side. You can still have halal and kosher if it's stunned. I think it's kosher that you can't stun it. And then they just import
that's
it
probably
anyway,
as far as a mid. That's the middle ground that I would at least consider.
People would probably be fine with stunned halal slaughter, yeah. But then that's the thing. It's like, how well is that even enforced? Well, that's the next question. Which is basically never particularly well. So,
well, you could start.
Yeah, you could start, but then it doesn't actually do anything with the Muslim problem anyway. So
I think that
it's a start, right? You're talking about where to start. This is a start.
Your start is halal on the burqa ban. It's like, okay, it doesn't really seem to do much from where it's been done, though, does it?
Yeah, but it's a start.
You'd be better.
It's a start.
But it's just
your start is nowhere.
Your start doesn't do anything, though. Is my point.
My start is boat people. That for me is the Motte and Bailey. That is the fulcrum.
Well, that's why they focus on that. Yeah.
That's why I think that don't get me wrong. I was going to say, don't get me wrong. Halal, kosher, those are things that we need to get round to eventually. But I think that the Motte and Bailey has to be boat people because it's the one thing that even the Lib Dems are never going to agree with you on halal. Lib Dems might agree with you on the boat people. And I think
Lib Dems would agree on halal. They will eventually into animal rights. They're very into the animal rights. They'd agree with me on that.
Yeah, but they also want to execute
popular
my pets.
Position.
And as you said that, my girlie...
Lib Dems don't.
Potato. But
look,
as you said that, my dog came in.
I mean, most Lib Dems have dogs.
I'm looking through this list of countries that have quote unquote banned halal, and it's all just the stunning part. If it's just the stunning, like I don't particularly think that's shutting out. But obviously, a lot of people want to go beyond that. But no other country really. The only one I can see is Slovenia. But that, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I'm aware, that didn't have the quote unquote Muslim problem anyway.
I have a friend in Slovenia. If you ever want to ask anything,
it says here Denmark. It's just all flat out prohibited.
Denmark is making me laugh at the moment. I am enjoying Denmark. Somehow their super left is somehow considered like right in comparison to our media. That's so funny.
Looking. I mean, my source is saying it's just it just bans non-stun. But anyway, again, we've gone a bit off topic anyway.
It's important. But yeah, let's crack on.
We're being asked by chat, what does Mott and Bailey mean? It's a debate tactic. So your Mott is your reasonable argument. Oh, I want to ban when I mean I want to ban halal, I just mean the non-stun part. Your Bailey is I basically want to ban everything that Muslims like. That's the example we're on there.
If you sort of picture a castle. The Mott is basically another word for moat. I think that's correct, isn't it?
Not quite, no.
Mott is the castle on the hill.
Sorry, I've got it the wrong way around. The Bailey is the fortified position.
Yeah, the Bailey's like the castle. The Bailey is like the town.
Other way around.
The Bailey is the town.
The Bailey is the town. The Mott is the.
No, because the way I've always remembered it is the. I can't remember the rhyme. I know that. I always remember it as the bullshit Bailey. So the Bailey's the.
No, you're right, because the Bailey is basically considered the enforcement part of essentially the civilian part. So that makes sense.
Oh no!
The more I think about it,
I was right.
I've got the way the whole thing works mixed up. Yeah.
The Bailey is the town part. The Mott is the castle part.
Yes. You put out a reasonable argument.
The Mott is the castle. The Bailey is the town.
Yes.
So I was thinking of Bastion. That was my mistake. So, but no, the idea is that basically you have an argument, but you make a softer argument, which is the easier sell before you get to the harder part of the argument. Yeah. So a classic example might be abortion. So you might sort of start the argument of saying, do you consider that is there a value to life, which is a much easier sell than we're going to ban abortion entirely. So value to life might be the Mott, or sorry, the Bailey, and then your main argument is actually that abortion itself is a universal evil. So that's the usual. It's kind of basically it's a fancy way of saying subtext or pretext even. I don't know if you guys would agree.
Well, I don't know. What I do know is that we've been going for 2 hours and a half at this point, and I don't particularly think we need to go through any more of this. I think it's going to be repeating points at this part.
Yeah, it's going to be BTFing you again. Showing how weak Nigel is.
If that's your takeaway, very good. No, I
can let it run for a few minutes.
Cero, I'm tired.
let's just do this next part.
Key point there, Islam. Rupert Lowe, 3-0 at the moment. He's knocking down. Next one, we've come in. Ayan Hersey, obviously, she talks very clearly and just slipped this about the dangers of Sharia councils existing in the UK and frequently ruling on marriages.
So Farage is like, I'll check with my imam.
So where do we go on round 4 on is it round 4? Yeah, round 4 on kind of the courts, and then we have Rupert Lowe. I pushed the Ministry of Justice to bring forward legislative proposals to ban Sharia courts.
That's
Nigel,
fine.
on the other corner, is Richard Tice. Said we're a Christian nation, Sharia law has no place in the UK society.
He's hang his head or something.
I don't know. He looked like.
Okay, I'm just gonna say that Inevitable West is run by an Indian, and that could well be fake news.
Yeah.
So, so just saying.
Did you ever get confirmation of that? I know he said he was going to meet up with Lord Miles, and then it fell through.
Yeah.
He couldn't.
Yeah.
But wait. Doesn't this reinforce the point that actually reform is actually covering the points that he's talking about?
Yeah.
Also, do you reckon they'd let me on Lotus Eaters?
Maybe not after being on this stream.
Sad.
Again, Sharia courts is, yes, an issue people do want dealt with. Again, how do you go about doing it realistically?
That would be an easier sell than halal.
Yeah, yeah,
thing.
absolutely.
Nigel doesn't have the stomach for any of this. He's a coward.
I think he does, but I think that he's also
like the Epstein list. Like, no, you think Nigel would release that? God no, right? You need you need someone like me who just like the mad cunts who just don't care. Oh, what? It's going to collapse the economy.
It's not about
I
the
don't
money.
care.
It's about sending a message.
The child sacrifices will end, actually.
And yes, the
Moloch will go dry one more, after this night.
Not beating the shutting out accusations.
Farage,
Anyway.
all I could.
There's a Daily Mail article about it and everything.
Daily Mail, okay.
This is Farage.
Anyway.
There is Farage on Sharia courts.
Yeah, he's gone. Well, you don't know alienate Islam, you see.
Tumbleweed. Just
Probably check with Zia Yusuf.
Yeah.
I googled it while you were having your tangent. He was talking about it back in 2015. So,
There we go.
Yeah, just I'm done with it. It's slop. I already said that.
Can we?
No, hold on. You okay? You got that point, but you are so deranged with this because you are always bringing up like points. Like the other day, you bring up some video saying, oh, "Look, here's Nigel saying he's going to have net negative immigration."
Yes.
When he wasn't. He was saying the exact opposite. So clearly, he was saying he was going to drop net zero and have because.
No, he said we'll have another look at it because of the numbers that we've seen from Labour. That's what he said.
So when he says
which was the
week for some retarded reason, you interpret that as him going more right when he's clearly saying when he says we'll have a look at it, it means we're not going to do that because we need more immigrants to boost the GDP.
That's not what he said.
That's clearly what he said
at all.
That's clearly what he's saying.
No, it isn't.
Right? Okay. He's saying we are committed to net zero.
Yeah.
But if too many people leave, we will have to reassess it. How on earth does it make sense to you that he's saying?
He was talking about the week of. It was the week.
How on earth can you think
the Boris wave
he's
numbers,
saying,
wasn't it?
How on earth? No. He was talking about millionaires leaving. How on earth can you think that if too many people are leaving, he's going to think, okay, we've got to change our net zero immigration to make even more of them leave? That's clearly not what he's saying. He's clearly saying he's not even committed to net zero immigration. So you're not even going to get.
Oh, it's for the Britannia card lot. Oh, that's fine then.
No, this was before that.
No, I know. No, he meant the Britannia card if he's talking about the rich, isn't he?
No, he's not going to. No, he's not going to have net zero. Net zero, net zero is still.
You're right.
Net zero is still a fuck ton of people coming in. That we don't want. That will just be a drain upon us. So
net zero is supposed to be legal in. I'm very tired. Also, it's legal immigration, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like net zero is still.
But that's a good start, right?
And Nigel is saying he's not even going to commit to that. So
my
I mean, he says himself he's to the left of what the public want on immigration.
No, he said he might. He said he might be eventually.
Wait, Tharium, just really quickly. Sorry, Harry. I was going to say, Tharium, I actually think that this is a positive because if your theory is correct, then actually that still makes him very. If your perspective is correct, and we're optimistic about this, that still puts him staunchly to the right of everything else in the media.
He's not though.
And
he's saying he's not. He's saying he's not for any of that stuff.
No. But put it this way, right? Tharium. Good lord. Yeah, I think I need bed. But Farage is to the left of me, for example. He's probably to the left of you. But he's still to the right of the Guardian.
Do you reckon? Oh, don't use the Guardian as an example. You use the Times.
But he's to the right. I think he's to the right of the Guardian, which is good. He's also to the right of the Conservative Party. I do believe that unironically. Like,
the current Tories are very left wing.
Well,
Nigel is also left wing though. That's the problem.
But they are. The thing is, again, the politics that we have in this country are predominantly the fact. Put it this way, right? I'm considered by a lot of people who know me personally as like right wing to the hard right. I took a political compass test. I'm actually pretty centrist. I'm pretty reasonable on all
I don't know
fronts.
how you get far right on those political compass tests.
Yeah, I know. I don't know either.
Have you, have you
But,
never managed it?
No, I'm centrist. They say I'm centrist.
I have never been left of like 7 to the right.
But the problem is, again, Overton window considering, we would have been considered centrist 10 years ago.
What I think
maybe
is
20
normal
years
for
ago.
all history.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of what we're talking about is normal. And I think that this is the problem, right? The online environments the online environments make us the echo chambers do cause us to radicalize to some extent. That is true. But it's also the fact that we tend to have to push ourselves beyond the point of sort of where we were originally being quite reasonable. Sorry, I'm failing at reading the chat at the same time. But a lot of what we're talking about isn't particularly extreme. It's never been particularly extreme.
No, it's not.
It just
But we're told
seems...
we are. We're told we are, but we're not. We're normal. I'm normal for all history.
But that's what I'm saying. We are effectively very reasonable people. But the fact is that because we are forced, or at least we have been forced, especially over the last decade, to essentially hide our power level, quote unquote, it's caused us to seem radicalized, and also it has also incentivized us to sort of pursue a sort of more radicalized sort of perspective on things, even though that isn't necessarily what we are. Like, we are inherently very reasonable people. We are a lot more reasonable than the screeching leftists.
I mean, things keep getting worse. That's why
they do.
Soft solutions become less and less viable every day.
That is also true. It's unfortunately the cancer is metastasizing. To use the analogy, our country is dying.
There have been
the necrosis is setting in.
There have been many mistakes made in history using this justification. I would like to point that out.
Don't care.
I do care.
Wait,
but
because the alternative is okay. We just accept it. Like, this is Nigel's position.
You think
we just accept
sorry, but you are absolutely mad in the head if you think the only two options are gay leftism from Tory/Labour or basically British Hitler. Come on.
Yeah.
It's just nonsense.
I think British Hitler's inevitable at this point.
Can I give a quote from one of my favorite video games? Well, I'm not going to quote it verbatim. Have any of you played, and I'm including chat here, have any of you played Legacy of Kain games, specifically Soul Reaver 2?
Not even heard of him.
Oh my word. Right.
I know
That's
them.
it. Harriet's getting deported. Right, Harriet. There's a great quote early in Soul Reaver 2 from Kain when he says there's this whole sort of subtext of sort of time travel and all this stuff and fate and all this other stuff, and he basically says he's got a dilemma. Let's call it a two-sided coin, and he gives the two options of the two sides of the coin, which are that they are outcomes that he doesn't want. And there's a point where he says, so Raziel goes, "Oh, you've said it yourself, Kain. There are only two sides to this coin." Kain says, "Apparently so." He said, "But suppose you throw it enough times. Suppose one day it lands on its edge. What we want is the edge of the coin. We want the other option that isn't gay leftism and isn't devolving to the point where the country collapses. We want the third option." And I think that's, if that vehicle is reformed, no, but I want the edge of the coin. The edge of the coin is incredibly unlikely, but it is possible. And for as long as that it's possible, we need to have hope that it will actually happen. It's the only option that we have. And if that option is reform, then it's reform. If it's not reform, well, we've got a few years. But
you have that has been my position for every year. Yes.
It's cynical.
well,
maybe
you shouldn't be
sorry,
angry. You shouldn't be angry at people like us who, as the backup. Because when Nigel eventually does betray you, then at least people have been working in the background trying to come up with something.
Oh, I've got loads of weapons in my armory. Oh, I'm
not talking about that.
That's not talking about
that's
weapons.
just a joke. That's just a joke.
So what are you doing?
I'm just talking about.
What are you doing then?
Talking about all these people like the Lotus Eaters and stuff.
What are they doing? Yeah, damn right, I'm mocking them. Look at this slop. Look at what
Rupert's trying to do. He's trying to do something.
Join the Tories. Yeah, man, great idea.
Even to a lesser extent, not being funny, but even to a lesser extent, what are we doing here? Yeah, we are putting we're laying our flag in the ground.
We're shouting into a void here.
We're shouting into a void, but it's like Harren. It's like Peterson says, and I don't mean what he says by crying, but I mean what he said before he was keeping crying. But like, either everything you do doesn't matter, or everything that you do matters. I tried to. My problem is that I stare too much into the void, and I start wondering if everything I do doesn't matter. The reason why I support you, and the reason why I love this community, is because I think that what we do here, to streaming to our 40 people, matters. And I think that the Lotus Eaters, they are making an impact. Whether that's a positive or a negative thing, I guess that will remain to be seen eventually. But what we do matters, I think. And part of it's for fun. It's true. This stream was a lot of fun, at least for me. I don't know about everyone else. But
that's fun.
This stream matters. The mixing of opinion matters. The arguments matter. And I think that having people doing what they're doing, it doesn't mean nothing. It might not mean much, but it doesn't mean nothing. Having Rupert Lowe, I nearly called him Rich, for fuck's sake. Rupert Lowe. Right. Yeah, I got it right eventually. Rupert Lowe doing stuff, it's not without value. And I think that it does have, it does cause for a perfectly good bellwether or at least a weather vane. Maybe the weather vane is just for the online right, but that is, I don't know whether that will convert to votes, but I think that just having the words in conversation in the capacity of the mainstream has its own value. A case in point, terms like mass deportation, remigration, these are all words that didn't exist 2 years ago, but they exist now. Now, whether that's for good or for bad, that is yet to be seen. But I think that it is the fact that we have multiple. I liken it kind of on a smaller scale, but I liken it kind of how you in the US you had on the like super sort of fancy side you had like Crowdy, you had Daily Wire, you had all of these different voices. Now these different voices, they were vastly different in many ways, but they all sort of anchored a certain opinion. And I think that they all contributed towards what ultimately was the online right in the US. And I think that we have the same over here, though it's a lot more fractured. Or at least that's how I see it. I think it matters.
I don't necessarily know if we are. The Nick Fuentes types were throughout the election. They were counter signaling Trump. Quite a few of their equivalent of the online right were. Same thing's happening here, really. It's not that different altogether, and Trump still won by a landslide. I think
but the voices were still there.
Yeah, but
it doesn't really matter because it's right. It sounds very cynical, but it's all these voices are right of center. So even if they all normalize between themselves, we still end up not in the left.
They're not all.
I don't know if that's a very cynical take.
Well, they're not all.
They're not of equal value. You're right.
I think the battle lines for the next election have already really been set, and it's just Reform are going to put detail in. I think especially after the news today, I don't think the Tories have any comeback to this. I wanted to get off like an hour ago so I could listen to what Michael Gove had to say on the Tory.
Oh,
they haven't.
my apologies.
It's fine. No, it's fine. But the Spectator have a whole live stream going on. Well, it probably ended an hour ago now. But they had a whole live stream asking are the Tories toast, and this news came out today, and I am just expecting Michael Gove to be doing nothing but coping and seething and basically accepting it's over. You know, the battle lines are pretty much there. It's going to be Reform versus basically an amalgamation of the left with all the different parties not knowing what to do. A lot can happen in 3 years.
What am I supposed to do?
Shut out on Twitter. I don't know. Do what you want. You're not part.
Why aren't you supporting Reform? Why aren't you supporting Reform?
Well,
when Reform don't want me?
Well, don't support them then. It doesn't matter. Literally doesn't matter.
It clearly does matter.
It does matter.
You just attack me. You just say, "Oh, I'm a fucking retard for everything."
Well, stop being retarded. Well, stop being retarded.
Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm not.
Well,
Again, like I said, me, it's such a fucking dumb attitude. Me, all the Lotus Eaters and stuff. We were all fully on board the Reform train.
Yeah, and then you stopped for stupid
They keep
reasons.
letting us down. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because Nigel throwing Muslims in our face, going, "Love them, love them." Like,
Do you think
I don't think so.
do you think that's what he's doing?
Yes. I mean,
With
he throws
who?
out. He throws like Ant Middleton, great SBS guy, great guy. He throws him out for some lying Muslim woman.
What do you mean he's thrown
Piss
out?
off, Nigel.
What do you mean
Wait,
he's thrown
wait,
out?
wait. When
And-
did Ann
and-
Middleton? Wait. What? I didn't hear about that.
Ant Middleton's
He's-
gone. Yeah, he's gone.
Ant Middleton's
I
not
love his
gone.
books.
No,
He is.
Ant Middleton's not gone. Ant Middleton was like, what's he called? It was like Matt Goodwin. He was never a member. He was just brought on as a consultant for the party, basically. I don't think he was ever a member.
He was going to be their candidate. for Mayor.
No. There was a rumor that he might get
Right,
selected
either way,
in the future.
either way.
It was never
Either way.
confirmed. He wasn't thrown
Either
out.
way,
No,
either
Tharium,
way,
this is why I
he's
call you
got-
retarded. No, you've got to listen. This is why, total bullshit's just made up there. Again, I've had to correct you, and you're like, oh, it's still true, though. No, you're wrong. Again.
the point is,
stop
they
it.
don't want him. They don't want him. They want a fucking lying Muslim woman instead.
Ah, boring.
It's
we
like, come on.
We don't even know she's
Every
getting
new
selected.
candidate, every new candidate seems to just
This
be
is-
some Muslim. Like, what is this?
This is World of Wolf level nonsense again. I'm so fed up with it. It's like, what am I supposed to do? I don't care at this point, Tharium. You keep getting things wrong. You're constantly not
So do you.
reflecting
Don't
of
do that.
reality. Yeah, I am giving you this. I'm wrong about details of things. You're wrong about entire narratives. Entire narratives.
and
It's
you- and so do
complete
you.
nonsense. Like,
You see Nigel say something and you translate it because I get your position. You're desperate for this to work, and you think this is the last
I'm
chance,
not-
and I get why. But it's just causing you to just see things through such a wrong lens. You just your code is causing you to just
not particularly.
translate
Again,
everything into.
Again, I'm talking to people. Sorry, but I'm talking to people in real life about this. I'm at meetings about this. I'm talking to people outside of the online right about all this. Like, the online right is so disconnected from reality that now you basically just have raw egg nationalists stop giving the enemy ammunition.
Look at what you were doing with Jack the other day. Look what you're doing with Jack the other day. This is his actual job. He's actually meeting these people, and then Zaya Youssef lies in some tweet, and you then start telling Jack you know his job better than he does.
Well, Jack effectively told us that his job is effectively just rig bids for what is it? I can't remember what the office is called. The local government office for each party. Effectively rig it so that they get who they choose. All Zaya was saying is that KPMG is here pushing woke stuff, and all it does is train them into woke stuff. It's pretty much what they do, though, isn't it? KPMG is there to train them.
You say that the online right we're not connected. Jack is actually in the middle of this, and you tell him he doesn't know what he's talking about.
No, Jack has this confusing thing of. Jack clearly has a problem understanding what points are. Like, that's been made clear in the Discord. And so when Zia effectively said KPMG is here to do training and make people woke, Jack basically says, yeah, KPMG is there, we rig the bidding, so so the party gets KPMG when they want it and they teach them woke stuff. And he's basically said, I don't actually have influence over that. It's like, right, okay. It's not exactly saying Zia's wrong. It's you know,
he was
Jack was saying, oh, KPMG are there to try and make people woke. Jack then clarified and said, oh, it's actually the party choosing them to make them woke. Which, okay, that's slightly different, but it's still the case that KPMG are there to train them to make them woke.
Can I interject?
Yes.
Tharium, you are completely correct. I'm desperate for this to work. I don't know if it's going to work, but I am desperate for this to work. We do not have another option that has got mainstream traction to this point. Like Harren says, as of today, the Conservatives have basically completely collapsed, and even let's say he said it again, Rupert Lowe. Let's say that he even managed to get some sort of traction. Like currently, he doesn't have any sort of mainstream traction at the moment. So the only traction that he would be able to have is that effectively he would need to reform the Conservative Party. That is the only option that he would have.
That's
and
what
now
I said a while ago.
But the problem is that as of literally today, the Conservative Party is like they are going to be tarnished for the next news cycle.
And like I said, you've got to come in and purge the lot of them. So
but the problem is,
I think that's clearly the way forwards now more than ever, isn't it?
But the problem is, again, reform is an imperfect vessel, but a vessel nonetheless. And I personally would see that a reform victory would be a crushing of the two-party system. That is actually what we want, more than a rejuvenation of the Conservative Party. In my opinion, is a secondary thing. It's kind of like the backup plan. If crushing the two-party system doesn't work, then at least reforming one of the parties is an option. But the fact is, at the end of the day, I maybe have undue faith in reform, but I think that we have enough of a track record that we can actually trust them to a certain extent, at least for
no, we have no trust record.
We do have some, not a perfect trust record, and I'm talking as someone who I was voting Brexit when I used to work in Brighton. I know, I know what it's like to be left out on a limb. Okay, so it's it's kind of like the trust but verify. But I think that it also, if it turns out the reform is the only option that we end up with, I'm happy to look at all other options. But if it turns out that is the only option that we have, an imperfect vessel is a vessel nonetheless, and we need to make sure that we are able, in whatever way that we can, to shape that vessel in a way that will deliver us what we want.
You can't do that.
I know it's up to
you purged. Don't even
try.
if it...
No. We should always try. And I think that
people have tried. Rupert tried. It just gets you purged.
Well, then, but then that doesn't mean we stop.
As is always pointed out, these people that get purged, what do they end up managing to do?
Well, he's trying a lot.
Yeah, I know, and where's it getting him? Not particularly far. All right,
you've given him 2 weeks. Yeah, given him 2 weeks, and he hasn't got anywhere.
Wait, who are you talking about?
Well, the restore stuff.
Oh right. Oh well, he's had months for that. The problem I have with that is that he kept calling it an alternative to reform, and then he made it, and then said, "Oh, everyone's welcome, by the way, from reform to green." And it's like, what? So what? And then every time he's asked, "So what's the point of this?" I don't really know. It's a movement. We'll see where it goes. It's like, you do not sound like a man who's got a plan for the next 4 years. If you think the world's going to end, well, Britain's going to end, then it's not great.
The thing is, can two things be true at once? I completely support his venture. I also am most likely going to vote reform on my next election.
Well, that's
two things can be true at once.
It's fine to like join Restore. I think it's.
I wasn't going to necessarily join, but I do support them.
You can respect it and support it if you want. I don't particularly have a problem with that. it's strange from Rupert's point of view to say this is an alternative.
You are always talking down about him and mocking everything about it.
Well, yeah.
So don't say you don't have a problem with that.
I don't have a problem with mooks like us supporting it or joining it or whatever if they want to. Like, have faith in what you want. But at the end of the day, if he's calling it a alternative to reform and it's not even a party and he doesn't even know what it's going to look like in 5 years.
He's not calling it that.
He did call it that. He called it that. There's a whole Telegraph article saying an alternative to reform is coming soon, and then it's like a month later, Restore's out. It's like, great, this is the alternative, and then apparently reform members can join, and he's going to have a go at everyone in reform leadership for not joining. It's like this is what I mean about shutting out. That's what he exists for. He as much as like the inquiries are a somewhat good idea to an extent. And all his early day motions, a lot of it's just to put his name on the map. But in terms of effectiveness, like what team's he making? Bunch of old Tories. Okay, great.
But what can you do as a backbench MP? At least he's doing what is in his limited power to do. Well, you shouldn't have a go at him for that.
Well,
compared to
my
backbench MPs.
My
the backbench opposition MPs who just do nothing.
My point
just slop at the trough.
My point is, if you're gonna saber rattle for months about reform need to do tis, tat, and t'other, and then I'm going to make an alternative because I've been kicked out of reform, and then you don't even know what it's going to look like in 2030, and you say you only have until 2029 to fix things, that looks incredibly unserious. That's my point. Because every time he's interviewed, he's like, so what's the point of this? Kind of a think tank, kind of a community, might turn into a party, might take over one. No idea, really. So that's not a plan.
I mean, you can't talk about reform having any serious plans.
I can. Well, I can. What do you think tanks? They're in contact with business constantly to talk about policy as well. The drip feeding us
kind
policy.
of like what Rupert is doing.
Figuring
out policy.
Well, is figuring out a policy is to get a load of people from international people as well. This isn't just limited to Britain. This is people from America, Australia, Indians will be joining as well, no doubt. It's gonna be I guarantee. Yeah, I guarantee there will be a bit of a mess in all this because sure you have to pay to join it, but that's not going to stop people from either trolling. It's not going to. I know it's a bit sneery,
but I see this as a good thing, though. I see this as a good thing. We want. I remember a number of streams ago. We ended up on the idea of like defining some sort of right-wing metaphysic that actually will drive us forward. As far as I'm concerned, there's nothing lost with having as many people who are openly to the right. I guess, whatever that means nowadays. But people to the right who can define what it is that we actually want, having multiple people thinking about it.
I'll put it this way.
The only thing I don't... Yeah. Okay,
it's probably not gonna do damage. The only way it's gonna do damage if it's filled to the brim with, for lack of a better term, emotionally driven morons who vote for the most extreme version of all the policies. Then anyone associated with it is going to have a pretty black mark against them. That's where the damage could come in. That's probably part of the reason why Reform don't want to be involved with it, and why the only Tories joining it are, like that Susan Hall at the London Assembly. Effectively, it looks more like a Tory revival plan, basically, to me, than necessarily a serious policy platform. But the policy platforms they put out, I don't actually have much issue with it. It's the whole. What's the word? Culture around it. I've seen so many things like that come up and go away and do absolutely nothing in the end that I can't see why it's going to be necessarily different this time.
None of the others have exploded like Restore has.
I just can't see how that's going to make a difference. 100,000 people on X, fine. How many of them are British, and how many British people are going to get involved? That's kind of the level to me, and I don't think we have good numbers on that. It might be,
but
Rupert isn't well known outside of Britain.
I think more non-Brits know him than Brits, to be honest with you.
I think that there is a value for it just being being talked about is something that has a value to it. Like I know that there is a problem, and Lotus Eaters has this problem, right? Where they are talking about things, or more to the point, sorry, they have a huge fan base that isn't British, and they misconstrue it to popularity within Britain, which it doesn't track properly. But I think that there is a value. It's the same as what I used to say about the when there was the TikTok craze about trad wives and sort of LARPing as sort of the 1950s housewife. And I remember saying to my missus, I see this as only a good thing. Sure, they might be just women linking to their, OnlyFans or whatever. But I'm saying that we want to foster an environment, in the very least in the interim, where people think that it's profitable to at least LARP as a, I guess, what would you call it? A traditional nuclear family. to be where women are like, oh, it's profitable for me to pretend to be a housewife. It's kind of like, yes, it's not the ideal. I'd rather than being an actual housewife and being happy. But in the interim, at the very least, the fact that people think that it's important to, people think that it's profitable to LARP as this, means that the wind is blowing in a direction that's actually preferable. And so I sort of see it the same way in the right wing sphere, where the fact that people are sort of openly saying, oh, actually, you know what, we're going to start debating whether this is the policy for the right or that's the policy for the right. I see it as only a positive. But the fact is that people aren't talking to each other. This fracturing means that people are sort of say there's also people who are not listening to the other side because it's the other side, quote unquote. But we're all on the right. We're all.
Oh, well. Well.
Sorry, am I making any? Okay.
Well,
okay.
we are.
Okay.
We might be.
But
certain reform people, maybe not.
I mean, okay, if it was up to me, I'd purge half the Conservative Party at least. But
I'm at the point of just the whole thing's just it's all of them. It's all of them.
It is rotten to the core. This is
literally all of them. Maybe not the members.
No, 100%.
One councillor.
Going back to what Zenn said earlier. The whole thing is rotten to the core. This is the problem. This is why we wanted to ditch the two-party system. This is why I'm kind of a bit annoyed that Rupert Lowe is trying to, before today, was trying to sort of.
Well, that's Nigel's fault.
Latch himself.
That's
well, the thing is, whoever's fault it is, adults should be able to move past it. Put it this way, right? You Tharium, and you, Harry, do not agree on everything, but you're able to have a civil conversation about it.
Mostly.
Harry has not threatened to sue Tharium, and Tharium has not called Harry demented, or at least with dementia.
I mean,
okay, so
Harry is better in that regard than Zaya Yusuf, yeah.
And but the thing is, again, we are able to square our differences, but ultimately we want this country to be better. And I think that, I guess, my closing before my monologue, my rant, should probably finish at some point. The thing that sort of has disappointed me about this whole thing is the fact that this whole idea of country before party, and this whole idea of country over ego, it seems so simple, maybe to our little community, but it's something that I'm not seeing. I didn't see it in the Conservative Party. I'm not seeing it in Reform as much as I'd like.
Nope.
I'm not seeing it in Restore. I'm not seeing it in Advance. And I'm thinking to myself, you MFers, you're meant to be adults. You're meant to be older than me, at the very least.
Well,
Can you please stop acting like children?
Well, I'll put it this way. The news from Reform this week is that the vice chairman was Paul Nuttall, who was in UKIP a decade ago, worked under Farage, and is still with him. He was leader of UKIP not for too long, and he wasn't very good. But he's not let Farage leaving get him down or anything like that. He's over at Reform, and he's now vice chair, doing a lot of admin stuff, which he was very good at. Zia left and then came back in the same weekend. There's clearly, it's clearly not a case of once you're out, you're out. That seems to be reserved for people who didn't treat the standards that they were expected to be at.
Why would Zaya's a different case. I mean, there's something weird going on there. Why does Zaya get 50% of the company?
Because he paid for it. He doesn't anymore as well, by the way.
Why didn't Richard Tice get anything? Richard Tice put in far more money. Why didn't he get 50% of the shares?
Did he? I don't know. How much did he put in? Because I know
all those years where he kept it running.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
why?
I'm not being funny, but why would you want money in a non-profit anyway? What does it get you? It doesn't get you anything.
Why does Farage let Zaya come in from nowhere and just take over?
Well, we know it wasn't from nowhere because we've known each other for at least a decade. So
sure. I know Farage was going to his prostitution ring, but besides that, why? It's weird that.
Besides, they know each other for a long time.
I mean, I can't believe it didn't ruffle some feathers from Richard Tice and stuff.
Well, it's
that they've been involved all this time, and then they get nothing. They get nothing.
It's like their egos are massive. What do you want?
Well, I think.
Can I try it another way?
Yeah.
One exercise that I like is, trying to sort my thoughts. If Tharium, if Zaya was to prove himself genuine and trustworthy, what would that look like?
Opposite. I mean, he's proven the opposite to me.
No, not what he has. In an ideal situation, what would it look like if he proves himself genuine? And then I'll also follow it on to a...
a good start would be ditching the Islam crap. There's plenty of people there are people who don't like Hassan Tash. She's this woman who goes down speakers' corners, speak against Islam, but was a Muslim. She came to us and announced the faith. She's been, of course, lots of death threats. They've tried to kill her. They've falsely arrested her because the Met are just simple. They just do anything the Muslims want.
We don't mention the Met at the moment. Yeah.
He's just. I mean, you could just, like Tory Rebuttal said, he got it perfect when he said they're all just used car salesmen. You can just smell it on them, You can smell the dishonesty. They're just
don't worry,
slime.
I will flip this in a sec on Harren, but what would it look like if what would it look like if it was to... Sorry, let me try that again. For it to be genuine, what would it look like for Zia to be trustworthy to you?
Me again?
Yeah, I'll flip it on Harren in a sec. I'm gonna do.
Well, like I said, for him to seem trustworthy,
to put the country over the
drop the Islam crap. Like the shit the other day on the 7/7. That fucking little rat couldn't even mention the people who did it or why. That he is, and one interview he was saying, the worst part about Islamic terrorism is the backlash against other Muslims. Right? Yeah, I get it.
Can I remember that.
It was the trigonometry episode interview. He's they're asking about Islamic terrorism, and he goes,
"He's tapping that one next chat."
He goes, "Well, the worst part about it is there's the backlash against other Muslims."
There's absolutely no. He did not say the worst part.
He did.
No, he didn't. What are you talking about? You're talking crap again.
Too
tired.
That was all. Move on to
let me
again. The same. The 7/7 stuff. It's just nondescript men who did it for? Who knows why? I guess they're just angry, nondescript angry men. You know, the fact that he can't even mention the problem with Islam is why he can never be trusted.
Let me just flip.
What sort of people? Radicalized by what? Zaya, Muhammad. Yeah, he won't say.
Yeah,
he doesn't care.
It's like I said before. You just want them to shut out. It's pathetic, honestly.
Okay, let me flip the question, and then I'll have said my piece. I'm sorry, guys. Thank you for
hurry up. Come on, Jesus. I've already gone 15 minutes over what I wanted. Come on, what is it? Come on.
Sorry. Okay, my last question is, what would reform have to do to prove to be untrustworthy?
Oh, effectively, be Tories. It's probably not an all. I mean, the direction they're going at the moment is fine.
Wait, Tharium, let me finish.
They basically have to. They basically, when they're in power, have to, effectively emulate Tories and actually go back on anything that they've largely covered in their manifesto. I mean, if say they didn't do Doge properly, if say they did have, they did keep funding net zero nonsense. If they
you say be Tories, but this is like my problem. We went through this with the Tories. The Tories promise you all the good things, guys. We promise you things are going to get so much better. They didn't.
We've actually had results of like Serco contracts being paused in is it Durham Council? I think. That was?
Yeah, and then Kent County Council going, no, we need more immigrants. Oh, fuck off.
That's not what they said. They said don't give us a cliff edge with this visa change because we're not going to have care workers and it's going to make people die. Like what do you want? What would you rather have? The headline of "Don't change the visa" or the headline of "Reform Council kill 100 million pensioners"? Like they don't have the power over the immigration policy. They have no power. Like they have what's it called?
Wait, Tharium.
What
are you saying?
Well, they basically Westminster government have effectively put onto councils a hell of a lot of pressure of things that they need to provide. One of them obviously being social care, elderly care even. And if your visa changes mean like we have 21 days to find, 500 care workers, and literally every business is saying, well, that's obviously impossible. Like, obviously you have to do something about that, and the only thing you can do in 21 days is say, well, can you delay that, please, so we actually have a plan for that. That's all the headline was about.
I understand.
And that's not going back on source, is it? That was so much cope, honestly.
Is there any... Sorry, Harry, one follow-up.
It's fine.
Is there anything that you would say before they get into power?
Well, I don't know if there can be. Like, they largely stick it. Like everything that Reform and Farage and what have you have said is largely what they've been saying since the UKIP days. It's largely the same policies.
So to say on that then, if they were to massively backtrack on one of their major policies, that would
It depends on the policy. I'd be happy if it was the House of Lords.
Okay, so basically, I guess I'm kind of trying to sort of get a gauge on. So Tharium, if Reform can prove that they will put country essentially before,
they don't put. They've announced, made it very clear they don't put our people first. Like I remember Harry going, soy jack face, Reform are going to have a really nationalistic council house policy, and then it turns out, you've been here 5 years, right? I
haven't paid into the system.
So
people who don't need council houses.
So if Reform can demonstrate that they, I mean, that's a bit nebulous. I was on board. It's a bit nebulous, but I was going to say it's a bit nebulous. But let's say that Reform can demonstrate that they want to put it's nebulous, but the native Brit first in their policies. Mm-hmm. That would be a trustworthy policy for you. And for Harry to say, let's say the Reform backtrack on one of their major, let's say that they don't want to deport the boat people, for example.
Oh, yeah. Well,
that would be an example of a betrayal.
Oh, yeah.
So, okay. Then let's hold ourselves to this then.
It took you 20 minutes to say that.
Well,
No,
I
it's
kind
fine.
of I felt that it was important for you to.
No, it's fine. I'm very tired. I don't want to end it. And you're tired
Sorry,
as
man.
well, I can tell. No, it's fine. No, it's
I
good
am
to
a little
get
bit.
through. Right. Thank you all for joining. Thank you, chat, for being involved. Videos are on my channel as and when I can make them. Thursday, it's Hollow Knight. Right, next week, it's TOSH News. There's going to be lots to go through because the Tories absolutely